12-3 with 2 games to go, sitting tied atop the AFC with the Denver Broncos. Last night, the 49ers put up 48 points as they crushed the Colts 48-27. Brock Purdy threw for 295 yards and 5 touchdowns. The Bruins will be looking to snap a 3-game losing streak tonight when they host the Montreal Canadiens at the Garden. The Bees come in off a disappointing 6-2 home loss to Ottawa on Sunday night. This sports update brought to you by IBEW 103 and Nika Electrical Contractors. IBEW 103 celebrating 125 years of power in Greater Boston. To find a qualified contractor for your next electrical, telecom, or security project, to visit thepowerprofessionals.org. That's thepowerprofessionals.org. I'm Dan Roach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update in 30 minutes.
Onto the Pasternak, and he scores! What a blast by Pasternak!
The Bruins play here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah. Boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Is Toucher here? No. Is Hardy here? No. John Wallach? Not here. How about 12? Is 12? 12 not here. But you heard the beautiful tones of the one and only Dan Roach, who was a little concerned about his updates, his headlines. He didn't think he had it this morning. I had to kind of talk him through it. A little therapy session at about 5:37 to let Dan Roach know that you are able, you are capable, you have the ability to do this thing. So I had to talk Roach through it. I'm Michael Holley. Dan Roach is here. What's up, man?
Hi, Michael. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Everything else.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. And like, are you one of those people, by the way, are you one of those people who gets caught up in happy holidays, Merry Christmas? I know it means a lot of things to people. Like, I'll say whatever needs to be said. It's 2 days before Christmas. So I'll say that 2 days before Christmas. So if you want to say happy holidays, if you want to say happy holidays, I'm good. I'll say happy holidays. And then some people get really aggressive with it. No, Merry Christmas, man. Merry Christmas. Yeah, I'm saying Merry Christmas. Okay, fine. Fine. If you want to say Merry Christmas to me and you think I'm afraid, like I'm taking Christmas out of it. I don't say Merry, I don't say Christmas, and that bothers you. No, it's fine. So how about you?
You've known me well enough. For how many years have you been in this market? We've passed, cross paths, worked together a couple times. So
you'll roll with
I
it.
don't care.
You want to say Happy Holidays? You want to say Merry Christmas? You just
happy
want to say
holidays,
Happy
cover them
Tuesday?
all. Merry Christmas. Happy Festivus if
Happy
you're celebrating
Storm Day.
today.
Happy Festivus.
Yeah. Well, no matter what your feats or strength are today, your airing of grievances, you can do whatever you want.
So is it a grievance? Are you going to air a grievance right here off the top? Or are you one of those people who says, hey, they invited me here. I really can't complain about the people who invited me into their space. You're going to complain that nobody's here.
In fact, I walked into the building.
Nobody
Hello?
Here, man.
There's only Ryan and us. I'm like, oh, man.
Ryan Garvin's here.
I'm in
Morning,
the garage.
everybody.
Morning, Ryan.
Shout out Ryan Garvin.
I don't know why Dan was surprised that nobody was in the building
I
at
know. I don't know
5
why.
o'clock. I mean, even on, a nice day in March, there's nobody here at 5 o'clock.
So Garvin, how does it work? Where do you know in July or August when they say, okay, when we get around the holidays, this person is going to be off, this person is going to be off, and somebody's going to be a lone person standing, and it's going to be you. Did you know it was going to be you in July, August, or was this like a couple days ago?
Gosh, I have a pretty good idea of what the schedule is going to be. I was asked, do you want to do maybe a couple morning shows, maybe a couple afternoon shows? And I said, you know what?
All of them.
If you're
do a couple.
Seriously,
no, really.
If you're going to give me one or two morning shows, give me all of them just so I can try and get into that schedule. So, yeah, I'm going to be here doing the morning show from now until the New Year's. And,
wow.
I'll sleep in January. That's the plan. I'll get a good night's sleep in January.
You'll sleep in January. Same for Dan Roach. You don't sleep. Dude, I thought I was.
You know what, Michael? You get older, you don't sleep. That's first off.
So, but no,
right?
but this is not an age thing for you. This is a decision. You have decided that sleep is overrated.
Yeah.
You'll sleep when you die. Like what? Like what's your philosophy with this?
Do the best I can.
You've just been all over the place.
Yeah.
So you were in Baltimore yesterday.
Yep. Flew home yesterday
there
after
for
the game on Sunday.
So Sunday night.
Yep.
The
I
game
didn't get back to my room till about 2:30.
2:30.
Went to bed. Fell asleep at like 3:30, watching whatever Sports Center.
Oh, so wait a minute. So you got back to the room and you're still not tired.
No.
After
that,
so
you have
the crowd is in your head and all the interview. Oh, what does this mean?
We had to walk back to our car, which was pretty far in Baltimore at 2 a.m, that keeps you alert. And,
definitely.
Flowing.
I would say that, especially. I would say that. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I mean, come on. There are certain cities you can walk at 2 o'clock in the morning. As a matter of fact, I think New York is one of those cities.
Yes, I agree with you.
Because there's just so many people around.
Yes.
Okay, fine. There's always. But Baltimore, that stadium. 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So you get back to the room at 2:30. You're replaying the game in your head, thinking about some of the great interviews that you did.
I wouldn't say that, but
right?
yes, we're playing the game in the head.
Thinking about
although Morgan Moses, who we have a deal with, we do every post game.
Okay,
was
there
really
goes.
good talking about battling to stay in that game and trying to get into the game any way he could, get back into the game after hurting his knee. So that was the one interview that.
All right, so you do that. You're thinking about Morgan Moses in your hotel room. No judgment. No judgment. That's fine.
I wish I had Morgan Moses on the walk to my car.
Even Morgan Moses would be like, "You out of your damn mind? Do not walk out there. I played here. I know what it's like." And so, what time your flight is? At what time?
9 a.m.
So you
Christmas. Christmas.
Yeah,
holiday
you get out of
week.
here. Yeah, right. I got to get out.
So we left the lobby. We met in the lobby. I think it's 6:30 to go to the airport.
All right.
So I had a nap.
All right, you had a nap, and then you got here. I would say this, Dan Roach, with all respect, I'd say you got here aggressively early today. It's aggressively early here at the Sports Hub. Yeah.
It's kind of it's my MO. I get up at right before 4, shower, shave, get ready for the day. Go stop at my Dunkin' friends.
Look at this.
And
guys,
pull in here around 5 o'clock.
Because Roach, you're one of the rare people. Because I did today. Not that I wanted to. I actually showered this morning. I didn't really want to. I'm just going to tell you. I didn't want to shower, but I know after doing doing some morning shows, most morning hosts don't shower.
Yeah.
And so when you come in, because I did middays for many years, when you come in at 10 o'clock, following a morning show.
Yep.
I don't know.
There's some lingering.
I don't. Right, Garvin?
No, there's some lingering.
Okay, so I would say covering sports in town, I would say the smelliest locker room, the nicest guys, but the smelliest locker room would be hockey.
Yes. The equipment.
Nicest guys. Smelliest locker room. By far. Smellier than football. I know you said.
I think it's all that padding, too. It just sinks into the gloves and you can't get it out.
Yes. And it's like what we all go through. All right, so just imagine this. You're in when it's cold, and you're in New England, you know what it's like. When it's cold, and you're walking around in your winter stuff, and your scarf and your hat, and you do that couple of days in a row, and you have that kind of winter sweat going, and you hang your coats up, after a while, you think, damn, my coats kind of smell. That's just for you and your family. Imagine a room of 20 guys who are out there for 60 minutes skating, and they're sweating. And they're putting all that stuff away, and it's all in the same room.
And they have undergear on and sweats and
oh, that's how studios smell at 6 a.m.
Well, I told
you from 6 to 10. So I didn't want to be a part of that. I didn't want to be a part of that.
Last night of my wife is cooking Christmas stuff because we have 25 people coming over on Christmas.
You're hosting.
Yes, and she was making stuff, and she made she makes a meat pie appetizer or something like that, and she cut up onions, and the onion smell was everywhere in the house last night.
So she started cutting up onions last night.
Yes, and she told me this morning. She said you should have put your coat outside because it's probably absorbed a lot in the kitchen, a lot of the, onion smell. So I had that going for me. Plus, I had to get up, shower, shave anyway because I have TV after this. We have Foxborough, the Patriots have an availability so that we don't have to work Christmas.
Dude, you are unbelievable. Seriously. So you're going to
But I didn't want to smell. That was part of it. So I came in, I took the shower and everything else. I left my coat in the car because I didn't want to bring it into the studio.
I'm not offended.
Thank you.
So
it wouldn't have bothered anybody because there's nobody here.
There's nobody here. Right. Exactly.
Hello?
Right.
Hello?
So you said something that really is amazing to me. You said your wife said to you this morning, your wife is up?
Yes. She set the alarm so that I would get up. My wife's an early riser, though, Michael. Like, she works talking of hockey. She works for Power Hockey.
And you got to do the whole walking thing. Aren't you?
Well, I did that, but I now joined a place. I don't walk as much because I tore my Achilles. I partially tore my Achilles.
You and Jason Tatum.
So, yes. But he's at a much better level coming back.
You have conversations about it, you and Tatum?
No.
Talk about the...
I waited a little bit for my speed bridge procedure personally.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Tatum says, how's the rehab going for you, Dan?
So she gets up at 4:20 Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and is in the gym at 5. So she gets up early anyway to begin with.
Life goals.
She's insane. I'll show you pics of her working out.
She's chopping onions last night. This morning.
She wasn't getting up this morning.
No, that's right, because it's not Monday, because it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So not a gym day, but she was just trying to make sure that you didn't oversleep.
Yep.
So you could be here on the Toucher and Hardy show.
Yes. With nobody here.
Except
you and Ryan,
look,
which is great.
Look, we're going to have a great time.
Yes.
We're going to have a great time today.
Plenty of things to talk about. All Pats, right?
Well, mostly Pats, which is, I mean, it's if you think about this time last year, Roach, you're thinking about the Patriots and you're hoping, for a lot of fans I heard from, they were hoping they'd lose. So December, the equivalent of game 15 last year, you were hoping they'd lose because they sucked, and you wanted to get a top pick in the draft. You wanted Travis Hunter, you wanted Abdul Carter.
How'd that work out?
You wanted
right.
You wanted somebody like that. So to go from that last year, where they were legitimately, if somebody hadn't told your buddy Joe Milton. If somebody had told him, hey, Joe, this is not real, okay? Don't go out there and play well. You're starting, but nobody really wants to win except for you and Gerard Mayo, the Tennessee guys. They're the only one. Right. You're the only guys who want to win. Robert Kraft doesn't want you to win. Jonathan, Dan, Josh, none of the Krafts want you to win. If he hadn't won that game, you're talking about the number one pick in the draft.
Yeah.
So they were legitimately the worst team in football last year. And this year they're in a conversation for the best team in the league.
And you have a beer-chugging, crowd-pleasing offensive tackle.
Well,
as a draft pick.
Well, I think
who, by the way, is just a big old kid. I love him.
I think he'd be more crowd-pleasing if he were out there. But, it's all right. Will Campbell, playing to the crowd. You see his shirt too. He's got a I love Drake May. He's got the I love Drake May shirt. So playing to the crowd and playing to the quarterback. No, but it's really amazing that we're in this situation, talking about a team at the end of the year, just a calendar year. You go from being the worst team in football to being one of the best teams in football. I certainly didn't see it coming. I don't know if Andrew Callahan, who will join us in the 8 o'clock hour today, I don't know if he saw it coming. I don't know if Christian Fourier.
Nobody saw this coming.
Will join us at 9:20.
Realistically, you could say
saw it coming.
If everything went well, you could get 9 wins, maybe, right? If you were 9-8, you were happy,
right,
as a Patriots fan.
9-8 and building.
Yes, and just showing. And I wanted them to play better in the second half of the season and show me that there's a reason for hope. That's what I was hoping for, right? But man. It's been
the biggest surprise of the season. If you look back at it, the biggest surprise of the season so far has not been Drake May playing like an MVP. Has not been Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year vibes. Hasn't been Stephon Diggs in a bounce back. The biggest surprise of the season has been how the hell did they lose to the Raiders in the first game of the year?
But I can see why
they lost to the Raiders.
I can see how they lost though.
Can you?
Yes, because what has been the theme of this team? They did it again Sunday night. Right? What happens? That first drive, like, oh gosh, here we go. Derrick Henry is going to be shoved down our throat all game long. They're gonna get smoked. So that's kind of been the theme. How many games have they given up an opening drive, touchdown, or
Most
field
of
goal,
them, right?
And then they come together on the sidelines as a defense, get it all together, and they do well after that. And combined with the brain farts of John Harbaugh and everybody with Baltimore as to why you didn't play Rush Henry more and throw the Zay Flowers more, helped you combine to get a win. So they lost to the Vegas Raiders just like they do. They started really slow. They started 1-2, and then they went on their way.
Start 1-2 and then go on the 10-game win streak, then lose to Baltimore and lose to Buffalo and come back and beat Baltimore. And that Harbaugh thing, did it seem as strange to you? You were there. You were at the game. And sometimes I think, all right, maybe I'm overthinking it, or maybe I'm missing something. Maybe they're getting a report in the stadium about there's some intel that they know that we don't know. But I just kept watching it thinking, this is perfect for the Patriots. Couldn't be happier with the decision to see this 6'3", 260-pound alien on the sideline.
I know.
You can't stop.
It's crazy.
The biggest, the fastest, the strongest, and lately the fumblingest running back in football. But really, if Derrick Henry is holding the football, if he's holding on to the football, he's a problem. He was a problem for the Patriots. I couldn't believe John Harbaugh. It was almost like, John Harbaugh, are you trying to make a statement to your general manager? Are you mad at Derrick Henry?
I know.
You're doing the New England Patriots the biggest favor. I don't care who. Like, I know those guys are fast. Mitchell and Ali, the other running backs. It's no comparison. It was easy. It was comparatively, it was easy when those guys were in the game. And then when Derrick Henry was in the game. Derrick Henry is in the game, you got to account for everything. You got to account for him running. You got to account for how many people are going to get in a position to tackle him, which opens up everything else. You mentioned Zay Flowers and everybody else, tight ends. Like, you got to think about Derrick Henry. He just affects everything that's happening with your defense. They weren't able to stop him. And the only person who stopped Derrick Henry on Sunday was John Harbaugh, his head coach. I mean, I just can't believe it.
Again, we'll get into this, but I watched the game again yesterday and took notes and stuff like that. Henry had 18 attempts. That's it. 18 attempts in your biggest game of the season.
And he was pissed.
Trying to keep your season alive.
Roach, he was pissed. When you went back and watched the game, you saw the look on his face?
Yes.
He was
128
pissed.
yards, 7.1 average per carry, 2 touchdowns. His last carry, a 2-yard touchdown run with 12:53 to go in the game that put the Ravens up 24-13. That was his last carry with 12 minutes and 53 seconds left to go in your most important game of the season.
And it looked like, okay, that was the last carry, and another one got away. Here we go. 2 losses.
Right.
Now,
we'll talk way more about this. But to me, that was their season.
That was it.
The Patriots season, too. That was the Patriots season and the Ravens season.
They were they were both. Yes. There was desperation for both teams, but there should have been more desperation for Baltimore because they're hanging on. They come into the game 7-7. They gotta win. They saw the Steelers win earlier that day. They gotta have it. They gotta have everything.
Patriots fans were rejoicing.
So they think, I gotta have it. And how do I go away from Derrick Henry? All right, their problem, not our problem. We don't have problems today. Well, we have some problems because of his Festivus.
Yes, there's always in Boston sports radio.
Yeah. I mean,
there's always Festivus.
Things are good, but there's the underside. There's the underside of things. You're in Boston. Come on, you're not going to just sit around on December 23rd and say everything is great. I don't believe you. You don't believe everything is great. We don't believe that. So we got to talk about the things that are horrible, the things that annoy you, and the things that are pretty good. What doesn't annoy me, Dan Roach, seriously, it's good to see you. It's to do this show with you. We're going to talk about what happened
and do you know what
last night. Go ahead.
Boston Patriots fans were rejoicing, singing yesterday morning. We'll play that song for you. I'll go find Ryan with it, and we'll get that song for you.
Oh, you got a song?
As they left yesterday. On my airplane and everything, okay?
Oh, so the whole crew on your plane, you had
singing it.
You had a singing plane. Were you singing with them?
Yeah.
And we have video
Did you ever see Hairspray?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, but you'll give me context. I'll figure it out. Context clues, the whole
One
thing.
quick one. That's it.
All right. That's it.
How's that for a big market tease?
All right, it is. Big time tease.
I can't wait.
I can't either. What happened last night? Coming up next on Toucher and Hardy with Michael Holley and Dan Roach.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Dan Roach, you're telling me, before we get to what happened last night, what happened on Monday morning. Monday morning, you're on a plane?
Everyone. Good morning, Baltimore.
Right.
Thank you.
So what time? Okay, so I'm just trying to put myself in this position. What time was the flight out of Baltimore?
9:30. 9:30.
Okay, 9:30. I guess so. I guess I can deal with that at 9:30. If it had been 2 hours earlier, I was like, shut the F up.
I woke up at 6.
Shut the F
the
up.
first thing that came to my mind was good morning, Baltimore. Thank you very much. Patriots fans are happy this morning.
And so how many, because I heard them during the game. They're chanting MVP.
They were loud,
They're all over
Michael.
the place.
They've traveled well this year.
See, it used to be.
It's been noticeable.
I don't remember, and I know Patriots-Ravens. There have been many great Patriots-Ravens games over the year, regular season, postseason. But all the postseason games have been here. I don't think the Patriots have ever played a playoff game in Baltimore, right?
Yeah, I
It's
don't
always
think so.
been here.
Yep.
But I remember Patriots, New England fans traveling for when it was Red Sox Orioles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they take over
Camden
They
Yards.
take over Camden. It was mostly Red Sox fans. I don't remember Patriots fans taking over M&T. Is this a new thing?
I think so. This
Right.
one in particular, right? Because they've gone other places. Like I remember years ago when the winter meetings were out in San Diego, they played the Chargers, and there were just a ton of people out there for that game. Took over. You know, different places they take
Miami.
over. Yes,
Take over Miami always.
And this time, I don't recall it either. It was my photographer Mike Townsend, who was shooting the game, was just like, he goes, they were loud, like especially the MVP chants late in the game for Drake were loud, and they were everywhere on the plane, in the airport, just people everywhere with Patriot stuff on. So, and give them kudos because it was switched just a couple of weeks ago from a 1 o'clock kickoff to an 8:20 kickoff. So people had to stay an extra night or what have you. And granted, it's the holiday week, so it's a little easier, but it was just like everywhere. And it's cool, and everybody's so into it. Everybody's so happy about this team because it really came out of nowhere. That's kind of what makes it even more
I was
special.
going to say that's the most fun types of contending teams are the ones you don't expect. You know, just like a surprise kind of run that a team goes on. So what happened last night? We got some sponsorship here?
Yes, brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
Who wrote that? Love that. Thank you. Change your lettuce and change your life. Fantastic. Oh, we'll tell you what happened last night. We're going to get to some football as well, but let's talk about basketball. Last night, the Celtics come back against the Indiana Pacers, Roach. They win the game 103-95, but they were down by 20 points. They were down by 20 points to the Pacers, who are one of the worst teams in basketball. And this is how it sounded. At one point, the Pacers, you want to talk about a home game. If any Pacers fans travel, they would have been excited when they saw Pascal Siakam do this.
Long lead pass floated ahead to Furphy. Furphy's able to kick out to Siakam. Open three, got it.
What a catch there. Furphy just keep that ball alive.
Pacers are 12 of 19 from three. Siakam's got 21, and the Pacers lead by 18.
Okay. Sean Grandy, Cedric Maxwell, Celtics Radio Network. Great call. Now, when he says 12 of 19 from three, Roach, it's just like, it seems like if you're just listening to the game, you go, okay, they got a hot shooting night. You realize the Pacers, in an NBA where everybody shoots the three,
They don't.
They are the worst three-point shooting team in basketball. They cannot shoot. They can't shoot long range. They're like the teams we grew up watching. You don't have to tell me how old you are, but I could probably guess that you grew up watching an NBA where, at all levels, high school, college, pros, if you took a 20-footer, people would look at you cross-eyed like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get down toward the basket. Get closer to the basket.
18 seconds into the shot clock. Your coach would bench.
Oh no, you can't take that shot.
Right.
Don't take three. That's not a good shot to take.
We're not going to shoot the ball.
Yeah,
Gene Hackman.
Yeah, all these passes.
I want to see nice, crisp passes. Nice. At least 10 passes before you throw.
So everybody can shoot now, but they couldn't shoot back in the day. We understand it. Well, they could shoot back in the day because they were all taking.
Can I tell you what I marveled at?
They were taking like mid-range shots.
Chris Ford when he became that.
The first
he used to shoot in the corner, fix his feet, which he traveled basically because he got his feet all set behind the line and everything, and then hoisted a three.
Everybody travels now. They travel now. You know what traveling is called now? A Eurostep. Eurostep is like you travel. You take 4 steps.
5.
It's not 2.5. They're like,
LeBron takes 5.
Oh, look at that shot. Oh, look at that move to the basket. Oh yeah, he's traveling. If you're allowed to, if you can just carry the ball. So the Pacers are up. Everybody's looking at it. They've won 6 games. This is a team that went to the NBA Finals last year, went to Game 7. Could have had a real chance of winning Game 7, but their best player, Tyrese Halliburton, gets hurt, blows out his ACL, blows out his Achilles, early in that game.
Calf strain, and then.
Yeah, that's it.
I want to get a calf strain if I was an NBA player.
That's right. Calf strain, you'd stop playing because you know what's what's coming next. So they go to Game 7 of the NBA Finals last year. This year, they're one of the worst teams in basketball. Didn't look like it last night. And the Celtics needed some heroics just to make this thing competitive. Check it out.
Celtics down 4. Jaylen Brown dribbling low, protects the ball, scoops it off the window, and gets the bounce. Wow. A round hook.
That was crazy. What a move that was. A little pump fake. I'll give you a Christmas gift, and I'm about to take it away. Now the crowd's up on their feet.
Pacers scored 61 points in the first half. They have 21 in 15 minutes in the second half.
Yeah, it's more like it, right, Roach?
It's
more like
outscored them 29-13 in the fourth. We're done.
That's the Pacers team.
How about what are your thoughts on Jaylen Brown this year? I think just from watching afar, because I've been in Foxborough every day.
Capital B,
it's been so cool for him to take this team because of Tatum and what have you. Everybody was questioning, could he be that superstar kind of player? And he's just said, guys, climb on my back. Here we go. And he's great. A loss, he's bothered by a loss. You know what I mean? It burns at him and things like that. Everything he's done continues to grow, in my mind, just how great a player he is and how great an overall total player on and off the court he is, too.
Yeah, a couple of things with that. You mentioned the leadership. He will tell you, I like listening to him talk about losses and victories more than I like listening to Joe Mazzulla because he keeps it 100. He just tells you the truth. It's not a spin. And I guess the coach has to put some kind of spin on it, some kind of messaging. He's not really telling you what he thinks. Sometimes he's saying things it's for the fans. Sometimes it's for the guys at the end of the bench. So Mazzulla has to be more of a politician at times when he's giving a take on a game.
Like last night, I benched the starters.
Yeah, no,
I wanted to utilize and see the group.
I wanted to show you that.
Right?
Like, get the hell out of here. No, you didn't. You benched them.
You, sit down. Sit down.
Hey, this is not a benching. Hey, guys, I want to tell you right now. You're playing like crap. You're losing to one of the worst teams in basketball. You're down 20 points to the Pacers, but I'm not benching you. What I'm doing is showing you what kind of depth we have. Okay, enough with that. I'm just not ready for it. Kind of like singing at 9:30 in the morning on the plane. Don't want to hear it. But Jaylen will tell you exactly what's happening. Remember, they lost to they've beaten the Pistons this year, and they've lost a couple of games to them. Well, the last time they lost to the Pistons, he had 34 points. He had like 9 boards, 5 assists. He's all over the place, and he says, I didn't play great. I missed too many free throws. I let my team down tonight. So he is extremely accountable in wins and losses. I see a guy who can clearly be a 1. I think that was a question about it before the season started. Could he be a 1? That's not really surprising to me. What's surprising to me is that he has allowed himself to settle into this number 2 role, knowing that this has been there the entire time. So this is a surprise. It's like, for us, we're seeing it. For him, he kept giving you hints. Oh, it's there, but that's not what our team
needs. I don't need to be that.
That's not what our team needs. Especially last year's team when you had Tatum, you got Brown, you still had Holiday, you still had Horford, Porzingis, you got all these guys. They don't need us to. I don't need me to come out and just carry the team. Derek White's still there. I don't have to do that, but he has to do it this year, and it suits him well. He wears it well. So I like that about it.
And it goes to show you when he comes back, Tatum, just kind of what they can be even further.
Well, that's
than the way they grew together. Now you've got a different element where, it's truly a 1-1A type of, attitude, leadership, everything going forward. And the two of them need to just, kind of like grow together in that
that's
sense,
the question.
right?
That's the question, Roachy. I mean, if you've already done that, I'm not even talking about from an ego standpoint, but just how do you play it out if you've been the leading scorer? I mean, Jaylen Brown scores 30 points, you don't even blink. Hey, he scores 30, 35, you're like, yeah, okay, another 30-point game from Jaylen Brown. He's been great this year. So it's not really surprising to you. So when another 30-point scorer comes back in Tatum, I know he won't just magically come back and be Jason Tatum, the Jason Tatum we remember right before the injury. It's going to be some rust, but how does that work now? Does Jaylen say, okay, you're back, and now I'm back to playing the way I did when you were healthy?
I think there's going to be initially a comfort level, right? You got to get to know each other again.
Right.
But I also think what's the bottom line, which we found from both of them, it's winning.
They're
right?
winners.
They want to win, right? You can say anything you want. Jaylen could have gone somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because I'd said, I'm out of here. Get me out of here. I want to see if I can be a superstar. I want to see if I can be a one, lead a team, blah, 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 blah. Good. Go lead it somewhere else. You want to play in Boston? You want to win championships? This is what's going to happen. So when it comes back, it's all about winning. How do we get the players? How do we get everybody on board? And then grow again and win another championship, right?
Now, this is not a championship game last night, Garvin, but it was a big moment. They're down by 20, and here's Jaylen just kind of putting some punctuation on it, and you knew they were going to win after you saw him make this.
Rick Carlisle's had some nightmare games in this building as a coach. White under out of bounds. Jaylen Brown forces from the corner, just like Rick Carlisle's nightmare 2 years ago, and the three is good. The Celtics have their largest lead of the night, up by 5.
And the dulcet tones of Eddie Palladino in the background. You know what I mean? I don't know if you do this, Michael, but once in a while I'll say we'll be in a conversation, and if somebody says something quietly, a good line or something, I'll say, Michael Hawley for 3, But that's the JB for 3.
No, it's good. Now, we've seen them all over the years, right? And I can't, you'll remember his name. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name right now. Kevin McHale. Larry Bird.
Yes.
Who's
I can hear. I just saw his face too.
Yeah.
Not Mike. Mike, right? Yes, I know what you're
somebody
saying.
knows. Shame on us.
Who was the former PA announcer? PA announcers are underrated.
They are.
Too, right?
They are. They kind of get
bring.
You. Yeah, and they give you commentary without comment, just their kind of inflection. Like the guy who used to do the Lakers play-by-play, they would say,
Chick Hearn?
All right, No, it wasn't. No.
Oh, the PA?
Well, the PA guy. The PA guy for the Lakers used to do this. If a team is going on a run, saying, back in the day, it's like, okay, Paul Pressey.
Really?
Paul Pressey. Like, is somebody going to guard this dude? Come on.
But that's what Eddie does well, too, In the middle of run, Michael Hawley for 3. Come on.
It's like, come on, let's get this. But they got it done last night. And think about it. They're 18-11 now. They're 18-11. So this is how, for the people who wanted them to tank, hey, it's a good draft crop. You get into the lottery, you never know what happens. This is why it's so impossible when you've got good players. They're starting to play their best basketball. They weren't playing it last night for a half. 18-11, which means, quick math here, Roach, I think they have 53 games left. Is that right?
82 minus, yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
They play 82, 53 left.
Yep.
They play 29.
It's my Syracuse math
All right.
right there. Thanks.
All right. So if they maintain this pace, let's say in their final 53 games, and they're 7 games over 500, you know what you got? You got like a 48-win team.
I know, which is
okay.
crazy.
So, and they're not, they could do better than that. That's modest. 7 games over 500 the rest of the way. You're 48-34. You're probably a 4 or 5 seed in the East, and you could probably win a playoff run. And if Jason Tatum comes back, who knows?
And what I like about it, too, is you find out, right? That's the cool part about, like, the whole tanking issue and everything else. Even in a losing season, like the last couple of Patriots seasons, you find out what you have, right? You find out on a baseball team in September when nobody else wants to play. It's a lousy day outside. You find out who, right? Jordan Walsh, right? How about that? Like, you're finding guys.
Hugo Gonzalez.
Yes, you're finding guys that can add to and become part of a championship team. in a situation where your best player is out, right? Your superstar is out. So other guys have to step in, step up. And Joe Mazzulla and Brad Stevens, they find out this guy should be here. This guy shouldn't be here. This guy should. That's the beauty of every season is different. And that's what I try to tell people all the time. Everyone wants to get so far ahead of themselves. What about the number one seed? You know, it went from, oh, my God, this is a terrible team. Drake May can't complete a pass in training camp.
Yeah.
So now they start winning. They win 10 in a row.
I was there.
They got to play. They got to be a number one seed. If they're not, it's disappointing to me and everything else. No, you're finding out. Every single week, you're finding out different things about different teams, different players. And that's the cool part of what we're seeing with the Celtics.
They really could be the number one seed, though, the Patriots.
I know. Now you get greedy.
It's right there. You know, it's greedy. It's only greedy in August or September when it's kind of a pipe dream. But when you look at the other teams in the AFC and you look at the Broncos lose the other day and really get overwhelmed pretty good by the Jaguars, you say, okay, if this is the number one seed in the AFC right now, why not us? So the Broncos 12 wins, Patriots 12 wins, Buffalo behind you at 11.
Do we have anything at 7?
Well, what you got any ideas?
I just think I want to start about that whole what you're just kind of saying and about how what this season has been.
Okay.
Kind of chat between us.
As long as you don't,
all right with that?
Look, as long as you don't sing.
that just popped into my head as I was going to bed.
As long as you don't sing, you are. Yeah, I see. Garvin. The enemy with
Look how happy that made him, though. Come on, Michael.
I know. Every night is a fantasy.
But he's always happy. He's always happy. You don't need to make him happy.
We walked in at the same time today. He was already smiling. I could see him from the other end of the hallway. Big smile on his face.
Of course he was. All right, 617-779-0985. Toucher and Hardy. Dan Roach is here. Michael Holly is here. Ryan Garvin is here. You will be here.
I do headlines again, right?
With your calls.
Yes, you do.
And we've got a little bit more on the other side. Some more stuff happened last night. That's coming up after this.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Now the Celtics are getting some rare downtime for the Christmas holiday as they won't play again until Friday night at Indiana, the first time the Green won't play on Christmas Day in 10 years. Last night, the C's rallied from 20 down in the third to beat 6-win Indiana 103-95 at the Garden. Jaylen Brown led Boston with a game-high 31 points. Drake May and the Patriots will meet the media today down in Foxborough as they prepare for a Christmas holiday. And the Jets, they'll face a team at MetLife Stadium in the Jets that continue to struggle. That'll be down in New Jersey Sunday at 1. New England now 12-3 with 2 games to go, sitting tied atop the AFC with Denver after their 28-24 victory Sunday night over the Ravens in Baltimore. Last night, Brock Purdy threw for 295 yards and 5 touchdowns as San Francisco topped Phillip Rivers and the Colts 48-27 in Indy in Monday Night Football. Bruins host Montreal tonight at the Garden. The Bees looking to snap a 3-game losing skid. This sports update brought to you by Oakers Technologies. The Hauser family would like to thank their team and customers. Get your school or business future ready for 2026 by visiting Okers.com. Happy holidays from Okers, proud partner of your New England Patriots. I'm Dan Roach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update comes at the top of the hour.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey,
Well, we know what this is.
That's like Dana Quigley. Remember Dana Quigley?
I do.
PGA golfer.
Yeah.
Great, senior golfer tour. I did the whole TV thing, got dressed up in a caddy's outfit and caddied for him in a Pro-Am one day. And we were on like the fourth hole. And he's like, okay, Danny boy, because I used to see him. We talk socks all the time and everything else. He's got a cigar in and everything else. Okay, Danny boy, what do you see here on this putt? I said, I don't know. He goes, do me a favor. He pulls me aside. He goes, the one thing you never say as a caddy, ever, is, I don't know. He goes, I don't care if you make it up. You
Just
don't
make it
see
up.
what you see. Just make it up. Don't say, I don't know.
Just make it up. Hey, listen, Quigley, I'm going to tell you something, and then you do the opposite.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Toucher and Hardy here, Dan Roach, Michael Holly. What happened last night? Monday Night Football. A very entertaining game for a second because you could see Phillip Rivers at 44 years old. His entire family's at the game. That's saying a lot. It takes up a suite or two. Entire family's at the game.
Suites.
And he is, you can tell my man hasn't played in 5 years. You can see it in the face. But he knows the game, the arm. Not so great, but it was on the opening drive for the Colts.
Looks like a free play. Rivers, end zone. He's got his man. Pierce, touchdown Colts.
So he throws a touchdown, and his arm strength, Roach, it looks like a guy who used to play pro football, who has been coaching high school football, and has been on the couch for 5 years.
And he walks into the stadium, and everyone's like, who's got all that Ben Gay on?
Right? But, he knows what he's supposed to do, but his body doesn't always do it. So the Colts go up 7-0 in this game, and it looked like it was going to be one of those nights where they may be able to pull off an upset, but then the Niners did what the Niners did.
Purdy, he's got his guy, and guess who? McCaffrey.
A big part of the passing game. This is the route, but keep an eye on Jermaine Pratt, the middle linebacker. And as Christian McCaffrey, his eyes are in the wrong spot. He's looking all over the field, doesn't pick up McCaffrey until he gets up on him. Just an easy completion for the touchdown.
Brock Purdy threw 5 touchdown passes in this game. San Francisco looked really good, and the Colts, after a great start to the season, and we had cool nicknames like Indiana Jones for Daniel Jones, they're sliding. They are 8-7, and they're
on the outside looking in.
They're not officially out, but for all intents and purposes, they're out. And you want to talk about a punctuation on this game? Well, Phillip Rivers, he had a touchdown to begin it. One of his final passes went like this.
Quick throw, picked off the other way, D. Winters, and he is gone. This is a pick 6. And this game's going to belong to San Francisco. Just the 6th for the 49ers results in a score.
Watch Tyler Warren as he comes off the ball. This is on him. He telegraphs it. He turns his head before he's at the top of his route. And that's why the little things matter.
All right, pick 6. And so the Colts lose this game. 49ers win. 49ers are in the playoffs. They've had a lot of injuries, Roach, but they are in contention.
Yeah, they're 11-4 in the 5th spot right now.
What a division!
Oh.
NFC West, you got the Niners, you got the Rams, and the Seahawks. Great game last Thursday.
Yes,
that was awesome. And then you have the Arizona Cardinals. That would be a perfect Festivus moment if you're a Cardinals fan to complain that you're in the same division
as those three?
As the Seahawks, Niners, and Rams. Let's talk to Mark in Medford. Mark, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning. Merry Christmas to you.
You too.
Same to you.
So I do have a Festivus sports grievance. And it's on the NFL officiating. It is an atrocity. When I look at the refs in the NFL, right, I see 65, 70-year-old guys that look like they don't even know the rules anymore, that it takes them 10 minutes to figure out what's a foul, what's not a foul, what's a touchdown, what's not a touchdown. And then I look at the NHL refs and the NBA refs. You got young guys, young women. Well, what's the deal with the NFL? Why? I mean, there's no offense to senior citizens, but why are they hiring referees from the home?
All right, Mark, thanks for that.
Question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
A broader topic, right?
But NBA refs suck too.
Yeah.
And the officials that we complain about the least are in hockey.
Yes.
Like, we never say anything about it.
Because they have to skate.
We never say right.
They get kudos just for that.
We never say anything about hockey officials. We complained about the NFL, rightfully so.
What I quickly
NFL,
will say
NBA,
about that,
MLB.
what I like and I want more of is what the SEC started years ago is the ability to change something on a dime, right? Have one guy up in a video booth, whatever, and then just buzz down and say, no, the spot of the ball is a yard further back.
But that's the problem. This is the problem. So Mark and others are complaining about the officials on the field. It's not the officials on the field sometimes are getting it right, and you don't even know who they are. It's like these people behind behind a curtain, the wonderful Oz, the mysterious Oz, who are coming in and they're changing these calls.
Right. What's a catch? What isn't a catch? Those things need to be defined.
They have
better.
No accountability.
Yes,
because you don't know who they are.
Yes.
Like with the officials, like in that Baltimore game. Okay, the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game.
Yep.
Baltimore-Pittsburgh, there's a game, and this is like the defining one, where Isaiah Likely catches a touchdown pass. I'm sorry, it's still a touchdown. Don't give me like this third and a half and then fourth step. Don't give me this. He catches it, 2 steps in the end zone, extends the ball to keep it away from a defender. They say that's not a catch. Yes. The officials called it a catch, but these mysterious people said no catch.
Yeah.
In the same game, Aaron Rodgers has a ball batted back to him. He has one hand on the ball. Does not have control of it, really. His knee touches down, not 2 hands, doesn't make a football move. They say that's a catch in the same game where you take away a touchdown from Isaiah Likely, who clearly made a catch, made a football move. You say no, and you say yes to Aaron Rodgers on one knee, possibly with one hand on the football.
Yeah,
those were overturned.
Right.
That was from the league office.
That's like throwing a ball to a receiver and having him tackled as he tries to make the catch and goes to the ground and have it not called anything.
These refs suck.
Maybe that happened Sunday night. Ooh, maybe.
Oh, and how about
and Booty gets hurt on the play.
How do you not call that pass interference?
That's what I mean.
How do you not call that? And another one, this bothered me. Don't get me started. But do get me started. You got your own complaints. Call in. Give us a call on it.
If you'd like to air your grievances today, feel free.
617-779-0985.
We'll pick that up later.
I'm already late.
Yes,
I'm already late on the clock. Let me get out of here. Ryan, get me out of here. More Toucher and Hardy coming up after this.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Eat your asses off, okay? Road Warriors, we talked about it, winning together. Listen to me, we had guys step up, okay? We had guys go down. Everybody contributed to this win, okay? And we got some players in here that are starting to realize what they can do, okay? We had some guys that make it to the game. Again, I'm proud to be your coach. Okay, but we got a long way to go. I want you to realize what your potential is and what we can do if you just compete and stick together. Rest, we got a short week, we got Christmas, we got a schedule, you got families, we got work to do. We're far from being done. Diggsy, break this down.
Hey, I love you boys. That's way to fight and come in here with that mindset, all right? Hey, we all we got.
We all we need.
Gang on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel, after the win in Baltimore, comeback win in Baltimore, and had Stephon Diggs, who not only had one of his big games, one of his best games of the season, Dan Roach, it was a money game for Stephon Diggs. He came to the game with 67 catches. Now, there are some clauses in his contract that allow him to get an extra $500,000 along the way. If he gets to 70 catches, that's an extra $500,000. So he's over 70 catches. If he gets to 80 catches, that's an extra $500,000.
How awesome is that?
90 catches, another 500. 100 catches, another 500. He won't get to 100. I don't think he'll get to 100. But
perfect for the Christmas holiday.
Now, what a great time! What a great time to come up with these extra catches. I think he's at 76 now. Went into the game with 67, had 9 grabs.
Yeah.
That's 76, and then got the Jets. Hey, Drake May, you know what you might want to do?
Now listen, first 4 passes,
right? Now this is not the reason out there. This is not the reason to give gifts so you can get something in return. But you got to find out, what is Drake May really like. Not only that, Drake May has older brothers. What are his brothers like? Let me take care of them, because if I can get an extra $500,000, let's say I spend $1,000, a couple thousand, $3,000 on Drake May and his brothers, that's coming back to me,
right?
When I get to that 80, not that he needs it, but hey, why not? Why not take it? So it was, in all seriousness, it was a great win. That was a great win for them in Baltimore. I should have said this. It's Toucher and Hardy. Toucher's not here. Hardy's not here. Wallach's not here. 12's not here.
Nick's not here.
Ryan
Beaton's not here.
But Ryan Garvin is here. Dan Roach is here. I'm Michael Holly.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Happy Festivus.
Whatever you are into, we're into it as well. We're going to have Andrew Callahan coming up in about an hour, less than an hour, and talk some more football with him. I think he's going to be in studio.
He will be in studio.
He will be in studio.
Is he bringing food?
Callahan? Probably not.
Andrew.
Bring food.
Yes.
Bring food. Because bring drinks.
Coffee, skim only.
How about eggnog?
Oh.
You want to bring some?
Eggnog latte at Starbucks is pretty good.
Okay.
There's no calories
You're
either.
directing it. Sponsor. Dunkin' Donuts. Sponsor.
Yes, that's where I go every day. That's where I went this morning. It's worth the trip.
So we have Callahan in less than an hour. Former Patriot Christian Fourier.
My buddy.
Will be here at about 9:20. And so, but before they get here, you really wanted to focus on Vrabel and the Patriots and what this has become.
I think Sunday's game was the signature stamp victory for this edition of the New England Patriots, right? You go back to April, OTAs, and then you go to mandatory minicamp and everything else. Training camp starts. Everything that Mike Vrabel wanted to do when he came here, right? Win an AFC East. He's about to do that, or he's going to finish it out here. Wants to have home playoff games and play for championships. All accomplished within a calendar year, which is pretty cool. But more importantly, I thought they stamped their identity as a football team with that win on Sunday night, because there were all kinds of questions coming off of what happened last Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. And for this team to go out there, start 1-2, win 10 straight, have the setback that they had, and even, Drake May admitted it. He goes, it was the elephant in the room when they had the ball with 2.5 minutes left to go in the game against the Bills and couldn't score. Couldn't really get plays off. They got the 4th down pass batted down.
It was a mess.
Looked ugly.
It was a mess against the Bills.
They checked off every box that they needed to check off in that game, Michael, and they came from behind down 24-13. They put together a signature drive. They had should have been a blatant pass interference call on a third down that was in their way.
Can't believe they missed it.
They complete a 4th and 2 to Diggs, and on they went, and they just made plays, and they made passes. And as a team, they got the following series: a turnover, punching the ball out, right? Want to create turnovers, want to finish strong, want to have technique, fundamentals, everything. Mike Vrabel, if you preach. I have notes. I have notebooks with all of his sayings and things, the stuff that gets you beat. Everything was put together for that victory. The way they did it, especially coming from behind, finishing it off with the offense, defense, complimentary football, a couple field goals from Andy Borregales. That, to me, was the signature on their season. Now, anything that happens from here on out, it's gravy. But as a Patriot fan, you got what you asked for and more at this point of the season.
Yeah, it definitely, because that was a game, Roach, where it looked like they were about to lose. It really did. It looked like a loss. We talked about it earlier. Derrick Henry kind of walks into the end zone. He had his way. Other than the getting the ball punched out, every time Derrick Henry touched the ball, you were kind of, as a Patriots fan, you know what it was like. You guys were watching the game. You held your breath. You're like, oh, God. Oh, please, just don't. I hope it's not that bad. Okay, it was 5 yards. It could have been 10. Okay, it was 10 yards. It could have been 20. I mean, just every time he ran the ball, especially when he does it, when you watch him, he needs like a second and a half to kind of build it up. But once he builds it up, it's hard to just knock him down. I think one of the best plays of the game, who was it? And you'll remember better than I will. I think it was it Gonzalez or Davis? He tried to stiff arm him.
Gonzalez.
And he got and Gonzalez got up in there. It was like, oh, I know what you're trying to do.
And Christian's not known for his tackling, but he's gotten better and better as this season's gone on.
Derrick Henry has made a career out of many things, but one of the things, if you've seen his movies before, you know this is one of the things he does. He'll get a defender close and just push him down. He understands leverage. He understands at the right moment to give you that little push. And the guy is 6'3", 250, 260 pounds. And so they were able to take that momentum that Baltimore had and just pause it. Not having Lamar Jackson helped. I get it. Lamar Jackson out of that game in the second half, so you don't have to worry about him. You're worrying about, or you're dealing with Snoop Huntley, a completely different story, but you're still down 11, and you got to make some plays to come back and win this game, and they did. I agree with you.
Well, you look at it too, Michael, is Derrick Henry, 18 carries, 128 yards, a 7.1 average per carry, 2 touchdowns. He had the fumble, but his last carry was a 2-yard touchdown run with 12:53 to go to put Baltimore up 24-13, right? And you're like, this is it, right? They're done. They're just going to run Henry and run the clock out, the final 5, right? That's what they're going to do. And we didn't see him again. 12:53 left to go in the game. If you're John Harbaugh, how can you not, unless he was injured, and couldn't go, which nobody saw.
He didn't say it.
Right?
He didn't say he was. As a matter of fact, after the game, he said, no. I know he was upset about it. You could just tell. But after the game, he said, hey, we've been doing a rotation all year. And
so what?
Those guys, right, I don't care.
You got to win this game. You're 7-7 and fighting for your playoff lives. This is it. And who's to tell you that Baltimore couldn't be a good playoff team because of Derrick Henry, right? If they could find a way to get a win
but
here.
You know what?
Right?
I don't. After watching him, I'll say a couple of things, and then I want to get to your calls here, 617-779-0985. After watching Baltimore, even when they were up 24-13, and I'm watching the game, my guys, Tommy Kern, Phil Perry, Ted Johnson, watching Hoyer.
What station's that? I don't know what the station is. I was watching with my guys.
You're watching with your guys.
Burton and Fourier and Zolak.
Can you imagine there's more than one station?
No.
TV station in Boston? So I'm watching, I said, the Ravens aren't good. Even though the Ravens might win this game, the Ravens are not a good team. It's so surprising. Now they're not horrible, but we're used to, there are certain brands that we're used to. So the Ravens have kind of established a brand under John Harbaugh. Like Mike Tomlin's coached for a long time in Pittsburgh, and the second longest tenured coach in football is John Harbaugh. And they're usually good, and they're usually smart, and they usually have players, especially when Bill Belichick was here, they have players that the Patriots are interested in because they have some of the same values and same principles.
Think of Ed Reed and how much Bill loved Ed Reed, right?
I mean, like all these guys, like Cal Hamilton, you'd love to have Cal Hamilton. You'd love to have Zay Flowers. You'd love to have some of their, the center, Linderbaum. Like, you'd love to have some of these guys. But they're not the Ravens team that we're used to seeing. But that's not the point. The point is this. The Patriots earlier this year weren't capable, even this year, game 1, game 2, we're not capable of going into a team that has a good reputation, a good program, and saying, I know you're not good, but we're better. And we're going to take advantage. Even if you get a lead on us, we're going to come back. We're going to take advantage and salt away this victory. So they've learned
how to finish.
We've talked a lot about their soft schedule. It is no way around it. It's one of the softest schedules, one of the easiest schedules in the history of football. It is. It just is. But I think so that's a story, but that's not going to mean anything when you get into the playoffs. That doesn't stop you from winning Super Bowls if you have a soft schedule. And having a tough schedule doesn't guarantee that you're going to win a Super Bowl. It really doesn't matter in the postseason. I think the bigger story, Roach, is that they have learned to win games this year. It's not, we're going to come close. We almost had it. If it just hadn't been for that penalty, hadn't been for that turnover, if it hadn't been for this and that. They've learned to win games. And a lot of teams with soft schedules, maybe they win 60% of those games. Maybe they win 65%. The Patriots have knocked down every single game. Since losing to the Raiders, every game they're supposed to win, they've won every single one of them.
And you thought, with 2.5 minutes to go last week against Buffalo, that they had a chance to win that game.
They
right?
did.
I think everybody in that stadium felt that they were going to win that game. Or at least, you never know with Josh Allen, because we've seen with Mahomes, they can get down the final seconds of a game and pull out a victory. But you thought everything was set up for them to do it. And they had to have a bad feeling about it. They had to have that in their minds. We know Drake May said it, the elephant in the room. And they came on, and you think about it too, Michael, is this late in the season, both teams fighting for their playoffs and positioning and everything else, or lives. You were without your number one free agent in the middle in Milton Williams. You were without your number one linebacker free agent, high-priced linebacker brought in here in Spillane. And they were able to pull it off with guys like Jack Gibbons, who's known a lot around the NFL for special teams. And you pulled it off. The guys in the middle, you're using guys that, Barmore came up when they needed him to come up. You had other guys come up with the kid Durden. Yeah. They all different guys stepping in and helping out and coming together to play as a team. And that was maybe the most refreshing part of this whole thing is they are together a team. True start to finish with all of these different guys. You look at their wide receivers and their running backs. It's all different guys stepping in and stepping up. And it's just it's a joy to watch. Their offensive line, Morgan Moses. So I watch a lot of these games with
Morgan Moses and
with my binoculars. And he came out of the game with that knee, and you could see how mad he was. And he's with the trainers, and he's doing squats. He's doing everything he can. He's talking to them, and he's just like shaking his leg, walking around. You can see the steam coming off his head because he was that mad. And then he keeps on them. And then I see him walk over to Drake May, Hunter Henry, have a conversation, and he goes and grabs his helmet off the bench, puts it on, and says, screw it, I'm going back in. And those are the kind of stories that are around a team that's able to come together for each other and come out with a victory. It's beautiful to watch.
The way to reach is 617-779-0985, and I think John has cracked the code because, hey, he's going to get on the air because he's got something to say to me. What's up, John?
No, I got nothing bad or mean to say to you guys. Holly, Roach, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Happy holidays.
Right back at you.
I just got to ask you a question, Holly. I mean, I watch you all the time on BSC, and I just I don't understand the take in the beginning of the year, and now I just don't understand the take of they're going to suck. I think that's what you said.
I did.
But I want to ask you, I want to ask you more than that. Like, what did you? How much harp have you got? Have you gotten harped on for this? They show it all the time on NBC. I just want to hang up and listen to your experience with that this year, and I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday.
All right, right back at you. You can't get upset about a take that didn't a take that didn't land. This is part of the business that we chose. We throw a lot of things out there. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it way wrong. I did think they would suck. I thought they'd be about 6-11 or 7-10. And I thought they would be a team that would, despite the easy schedule, I thought they'd struggle at the beginning of the year, and they'd be playing good football now. I thought it was a growth year. I looked at the roster. Roster's not great. Questions about Drake May. These are all the things I'm thinking in July and August. And everything has worked out for them. If I had known that Drake May was going to play like an MVP, I would have predicted 11 wins. But I didn't know that Drake May was going to do this in year 2. I thought Drake May would do this maybe in year 3 or year 4. I think he's ahead of schedule, clearly. Stephon Diggs playing in game 1. When they signed him, I'm like, I don't know if Stephon Diggs is going to be there for game 1. So you think about all the things that
have come together in the draft, right?
And so I don't know about the draft, though.
Oh, I do.
You do?
Yes. Look at what Will Campbell has provided.
So Will Campbell has provided.
Look what Jared Wilson has provided. They started an offensive line with 2 rookies starting the left side for the first time, I think, Mike Reese said, in history.
But do you think Will Campbell has provided stability or greatness? I think he's been solid. Do you think he's been a Pro Bowler?
I'll give him a B plus.
Okay.
Right? So he's not a Pro Bowler.
All right.
How many times have you seen someone come around the end and absolutely crush Drake May on the blind side this year?
Doesn't happen outside of Myles Garrett getting them 5 times.
Yeah, but he's one of those guys that if you don't see him, you don't talk about him, he's doing his job, right?
Yeah, they have surprised me. I thought they would suck. I will own that absolutely. John, you are right. I don't get nobody really crushes me about it too much.
It's part of what you do and everything else. I don't have to do it as much, but I just do not like predictions. I do not like this whole what do you think they're going to be and everything else.
What?
Because what I love about sports, still doing it, this time, 25 years of BZ, is that every game is different.
What's BZ?
Right?
I don't even know.
WBZ. We buy zebras. Okay, it's the home of NCIS. Right. So. I just love watching seasons unfold. And in the 4-13 couple of seasons we've watched were different seasons. But this is a great example for any coach at any level of what happened this year, right? A new regime came in. The players bought in, and then they became a team together. Right?
Did they ever?
And Vrabel is a unique coach, and got them on their way, and they followed the path.
And I know we'll talk about this on the other side. Don't worry, Ryan. I'm going to get us back on track.
Yes, but I do have a sponsor.
I'm not worried at all.
I will say this.
Thank you, Ryan.
I'll say this. It's not just that he played for the Patriots. Gerard Mayo played for the Patriots. It's not just that he won Super Bowls. Gerard Mayo won Super Bowls. Or was on the Super Bowl team. Gerard Mayo was a Pro Bowler, just like right. So that's not. It's that profile. You can't just say, well, hey, players really connect with guys who play the game. There are a lot of guys who play the game and don't connect with players. It is the way Vrabel just has a way of speaking, and he did this as a player. You remember this when we were in the locker room and you were covering Vrabel as a player. I used to say this all the time. He's the same guy. When Vrabel got there in 2001, he could go up and talk about wine with Drew Bledsoe, who loved wine and got his own company and all that stuff. He could talk wine with Drew Bledsoe. He could go over to Willie McGinnis, who would play dominoes, and say, "Domino, MF." Okay,
right.
I mean, and those two and everything in between. So the extremes.
Yes, I've never seen a coach, Michael.
He can do it all.
Training camp, 90 players have the ability to go over to each player
and say something
and know them.
Yep.
And know their family.
Yep.
And then you would watch a play, and he'd be, Michael Holley, a tight end, come over here. This, and this. A cornerback, come over here. After every play, a different guy. And here's a great example. What? Again,
that's hard to do.
I watch this game through the binoculars a lot. You know what I mean? And writing down notes and everything else. Christian Ellis, right? Here's a kid that he's kind of been a tweener. It's taken him a long time and everything else, and he just keeps trying to establish himself in the NFL and has become a pretty good linebacker. He's gotten quicker as the season has gone on. He's been better fundamentally in stopping the run in his job. He grabs a face mask inadvertently at a critical time, right? 15-yard face mask penalty. Yeah. They go and score, right? The Ravens score, and they get, better. They gain 20 yards on one play because of the field position and the penalty. After that series, they're coming off the defense. What would most coaches do?
Get in his face. What are we doing? Right, yeah.
He turns to Christian Ellis, and if I could show you, I would love to show you. He turned to him, and you and I are facing each other. You can see him. He's talking to Ellis, and he's like this. And he's talking about technique, and he's talking about what not to do and how to better do it so that you don't have to grab the face mask. He's got a teaching moment in a critical situation in a game. To have that ability, to me, I've never seen a coach do that. A coach like him after every play, after every series. Mike, he spent time on the bench, sitting on the bench with the defense when they're out there running plays on offense and everything else because he's teaching and learning and looking at the Microsoft tablet.
Roach, it's been a good coaching year. It's been an even better messaging year. He hasn't missed much on messaging. I think he's missed some, but he hasn't missed much on messaging in 2025.
Hold on. Can I just tell you one thing?
Real quick, Manny.
McMulkin Cadillac brings you the next generation of Cadillacs with New Hampshire's largest volume Cadillac dealer. Discover the legendary electrifying Cadillac lineup. Choose from over 100 new Cadillacs available now. The all-new, luxurious, all-electric 2025 Cadillac Escalade IQ. Plus a vast selection of certified pre-owned Cadillacs. Elevate your drive today at McMulkin Cadillac. It's not just where you're going, it's how you get there, my friend.
See, I fell for it. I thought you were going to talk about something else, and you're telling me about Cadillacs. Hey, we see you guys lined up. I promise to get to your phone calls next on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Start the new year risk-free.
I'm here. I'm Michael Holley. We got Ryan Garvin on the other side of the glass, playing some good music, taking your phone calls at 617-779-0985. In about 30 minutes, we'll have Andrew Callahan of the Boston Herald, frequent contributor to the program. He'll be in studio for about an hour. And then just after 9, we will have former Patriot and WBZ contributor Christian Fourier.
Love it, Michael.
Talking about this stuff, too. Vrabel just had that quote there where he said, when we win, it's about the players. It's one of the things that I think that gets him a lot of credibility in that locker room. He says it. Some guys say it and don't believe it. He says it and believes it because he's lived it. He has played he's played for some great coaches, but he knows from his experience that those great coaches wouldn't be as great without the performance of the players. And some great coaches, believe it or not, don't realize that.
And I think the other thing, you were talking about him earlier, Gerard Mayo last year and whatever, former great Patriot, former, everything. The one thing that's different about him than Gerard, it's not Gerard's fault, is when he walked into the building, he could say, this, and this is what it takes. I know as a player and I know as a head coach. And I think that's the one noticeable difference that you see this year. The day he walked into that building back in January, this is my vision. This is what we need to do. These are the coaches that I'm bringing in here that know me, know what my message is, know what I want. These are the players that I'm bringing in that know me, a guy like Jack Gibbons, a guy like Harold Landry. And they're going to tell you exactly what we need. So the message from top to bottom has been the same. And that experience as a head coach is a big thing for him.
Excellent point. I mean, experience, I'm going to say this, in football and in many industries, experience is valuable currency. It is so valuable. I used to say, and now this is an extreme, but you know where I'm going with this. I used to say I hate too many new people. I hate too many new people on a job. Like, okay, you got to have some new people for a fresh perspective, but too many new people at the same time, that could be a disaster because nobody is comfortable in their skin. Nobody is just doing the job instinctively. Everybody is trying to prove themselves. You can't have too many people like that at the same time. And last year they did. Think about it.
Can I give you an example?
They had a first-time head coach.
Yes.
They had a first-time general manager. They had a first-time offensive coordinator. They had a first-time defensive coordinator. It's a disaster. You can't do that. You can't do that. And so if I'm an NFL owner, I'm playing between two extremes. If I'm looking for a head coach, yeah, sure, give me the next Ben Johnson. Give me the next Mike McDonald. I like that. But I'm going to seriously look at a second-time head coach. I'm going to look at a Mike Vrabel. I'm going to look at a Bill Belichick second time around. I want to look at those guys because their failure, in quotes, kind of put some scars on them, but it taught them some valuable lessons that my typical first-time head coach is just not going to understand.
And they know when they walk in the building that second-time head coach is going to have an idea of this is what we need to do. This is how we need to do it. And if you hire a rookie coach who you think is a genius, a Sean Payton or someone like that, or you hire Sean McVay, someone, you got to say to him, you got to bring in a Michael Holley, who's been around the block and back.
Yeah, give me some experience.
To be right with you through this whole process.
And he absolutely did that. McVay did that.
Yeah.
When he started, when they won their Super Bowls, he had some veteran even before they won Super Bowls. But when they got to the Super Bowl, he had some experienced guys there with him. I think he
had Wade Phillips on that staff.
Yeah, Wade Phillips. I mean, this guy, he takes over. What was he? 29? Well, he's the head coach of the Rams. Right.
And Mike handing the keys to Josh, right? McDaniels. You take care of the offense. I'm going to say stuff to you, but I'll take care of the defense.
And I interrupted. You said you were going to give me an example. You had a great example.
No, I just have a quick example in our business because you know how our business is ever changing and everything else. The TV news business. We have a lot of young kids now working in our newsroom and everything else. But the other night, unfortunately, the tragic Brown incident, the shooting incident, we're sitting all there on a Saturday night. I'm just doing my sports thing, so I'm just, have 3 TVs on, watching college football, everything else, and this breaks. And we have a guy, Ken McLeod, who's been there for 26 years or whatever, 20 years, and he has to go on the stream, and he has to go on our television station, and all the other young people are scattering and trying to get stuff done and panicking. He's on there for 3 hours on the stream just as a professional, experienced situation kind of guy. Let's bring in Michael Hawley, who's down on the scene. What are you seeing? Oh, let's bring in this expert. Let's bring in the ex-police chief commissioner, Ed Davis. Oh, Ed. And it can ask him those stuff. So experience in those situations, especially now you get into bigger games and everything else, it's huge to have that in. Look at Terry Francona is the best example of that.
Another
Having gone through it in Philly,
time guy,
comes in the second time and everything else. So there's a fine line between that, but experience certainly helps, and it helped with this team because they went from somebody with no experience, a staff with zero experience, to now nodding their head. And I look at Jelani Tavai as a great example. Most people thought he was gone. He said some things last year about the fans. He was frustrated, disappointed, everything else. And he comes in here, and I sat down with him in like week 6 or whatever, and I said, "How you doing? You okay?" He goes, "This is awesome." He goes, "It's been so refreshing from day one, and I have bought in. If they want me to play special teams, I'll play special teams. If they want me to, do anything that they need, I'll play on defense. Whatever they need, I'll do because I just love what we're doing as a team." And that's kind of cool to watch all that stuff unfold, too, before our eyes. And just accept the new role when last year it looked like you were gone.
You know what? When John, the caller, asked about, hey, why did I say the Patriots would absolutely suck? Here's my answer. I think I overrated talent. Now, talent does matter. You got to have stars, but it depends on where the talent is. So what do I mean by this? Usually when we talk about talented teams in football, okay, the teams have 53 guys on the team. When you say that team is more talented than that team, you're not talking about their 53 compared to their 53. You're really probably talking about 10 or 11 guys to their 8 or 9 guys. So if I say the San Francisco 49ers are a really talented team, and I say name the guys on the team, you're probably going to get to 8 or 9.
Right.
You'll probably stop. You may mention a lineman. You might mention Trent Williams.
Right.
But you're going to mention Purdy. You're going maybe
McCaffrey
and Kittle. All right, you're going to mention some of the stars.
And they, when you need a big game and a big performance, they're the guys that kind of look at the way that led the way last night. Purdy with 5 touchdowns, McCaffrey 2 touchdowns, over 100+ yards, and Kittle over 100 yards at the touchdown.
But if I really want to scale it down, if I really want to get to the essence of what makes a team good, all right, you got to have a coach with a vision. A coach with a message is so important. That's why I keep talking about message. So Mike Vrabel, if I can't come away from your first press conference with a short film of what it's supposed to look like, then that's going to be a problem. He gave me the short film. First press conference, I could see it. I could see it playing out in my head. It was like a mind game. I was like, oh, yeah, I see that. I know what that means. Oh, I get it. So you got to have a coach with a vision and a coach who is poised. You got to have a very good to great quarterback. You got to have, and I used to think, skill players. No, not necessarily amazing skill players. I think they have good skill players, but not amazing. I think you got to be good on the lines. I think you got to be able to protect the quarterback. You got to be able to rush some, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, Roach, what we're talking about is anywhere from, I don't want to reduce the everybody on the roster and their contributions, but when we're talking about talent, really what we're talking about is anywhere from 8 to 11 really good to exceptional players. And a great quarterback. You got that? Well, you got that? I mean, you can pretty much you can probably sign yourself up for 8 or 9 wins right there.
And I get made fun of all the time, period. But on here is, I'll say it till I die. It's a coach quarterback league. It is. That's the first premise of the NFL. And you talk about what's the difference this year. It's MVP Drake, right? That's a huge part to go hand in hand with an experienced, been there, done that head coach in Mike Vrabel. That's a good start right there.
Then everything else kind of takes shape from there.
And you talk about it, too, when he first arrived in training camp, day one, Mike sits in front of us and says, you guys better memorize these. You better know. And he quizzed Mike Reese like the next day, and Mike wasn't ready for it and didn't get the answers, which is rare for him. But build a team, earn a role, prepare to win. Those are our 3 objectives of training camp. And it's
build a team.
Yep.
Earn a role
and prepare to win.
Prepare to win.
That's your objective in training camp. So you build the team early.
And how about you? And by the way, those watching on YouTube, thank you, appreciate you. Do you see Dan Roach? Dan Roach seriously has his notebook out right now, Garvin. He's got his notebook from training camp.
It's full, like every single page is full. There's not a blank spot anywhere. I'm watching him go through it. There's not a blank spot anywhere. Double-sided.
Student of the freaking year, Dan Roach. End of the year, we handed out the certificates, and our final one.
He did homework he wasn't even assigned.
But I bought in.
Just in case.
Yeah, you bought in.
I bought in from day one.
Even the media guys bought in.
I said this. I want to journal this experience because I bought in, and I'll give you an example. One of the things that Vrabel talks about is the bleep that gets you beat on film. And it's clear as day. Not being able to take advantage of bad football. How many times has he talked about that early? 2-minute execution, ball security, fundamentals technique, making great decisions. It's all part of his building.
It's a vision.
It's a vision.
It's a vision.
Finding an identity, and they found their identity, which is kind of cool.
So, I'm always amazed that this works. Does this work? You tell me. And you guys out there, weigh in on this as well. Does this just work with professional athletes? Is this work with young men, or is this a corporate thing where it works in a corporate structure? Where, and Mike Vrabel's not the only one. Mike McDonald in Seattle has all these acronyms and these catchphrases that people buy into. So he says. A mob mentality in Seattle. It's mob mentality with this mission over BS.
Right.
So and everybody walks around talking about a mob mentality. And so when Mike Vrabel gives you a message, everybody says, "Hey, this is what it is. Hey, we all we got, we all we need." Like, do you think that's a sports thing? Is that a man thing?
I think it could be a life thing too.
Or is that something that
any coach out there of any team on any level right now, female, male, could get it.
So they grab. So the team will grab onto that more than like you got to keep it short. Got to have like acronyms, catchphrases, more than hey, we're gonna go out there, I'm gonna win. We're gonna do that.
You got to back it up.
You got to have something.
Hey, we all we got. We all we need.
All we need.
But the other part of that, though, is you get rid of the people that don't.
And they did that, too.
You can't do that as a coach sometimes on the other levels in high school and everything else, right?
They did the purge. And what we need right now, Garvin, is a break. 98.5 The Sports Hub. We'll be right back after this.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, the Celtics are getting some rare downtime for the Christmas holiday. They won't play again until Friday night at Indiana. It's the C's first time not playing on Christmas Day in 10 years. Last night, Boston rallied from 20 down in the third to beat the 6-win Pacers 103-95 at the Garden. Jaylen Brown led Boston with a game-high 31. Drake May and the Patriots will meet the media today down at Foxborough as they prep for the Christmas holiday and the Jets, a team they'll face Sunday at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. New England 12-3 with 2 games to go, sitting tied atop the AFC with Denver after their 28-24 victory over the Ravens Sunday night in Baltimore. Last night, the 49ers topped the Colts 48-27 at Indy. In Monday Night Football, Brock Purdy threw for 295 and 5 touchdowns. Bruins host Montreal tonight at the Garden. Bees looking to snap a 3-game losing skid. This update brought to you by Dr. Matthew Lupresti and Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, the hair doctor of Hardy, Sean Corrali, and Charlie McAvoy. Call 1-800-GET-HAIR for your free consultation. I'm Dan Roach of Boston's home for Sports 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update comes at the top of the hour.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Shop 12 days of cheese at
Dan Roach, because I am a man of the people, I will, for the next 2 hours and 8 minutes, I will call you Roachy. I will call you Roachy.
Retired firefighter buddy of mine, Ronnie LaValle.
Hey, Ronnie.
Lawrence Fire Department.
Okay, see, Ronnie, it's Festivus. It's Festivus. So
airing of grievances.
So his grievance is, hey, you can't have him call you your name. His mama named him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay. All right. So listen, this man's name is Dan Roach. I call the man Dan Roach. I call him Roach. Like, no. You must call him Roachy, but I'm going to call you Roachy.
I'm going to call you Mike.
Because it's a great. No, don't do that. Do not.
Hey, can I tell you one thing, by the way, before we continue?
Yes, I won't fall for it this time. Come on, tell me this important thing. Tell me.
It's more than the end of the year. It's where the next one begins. And right now, during the wrap-up the year event at 495 Ram in Lowell, you can save $12,000 on all 2025 Ram ProMasters and Ram 1500S, or choose 0% financing for 72 months and $4,000 in discounts on a new 2025 Ram 1500. Set yourself up for the year ahead with a Ram truck built to serve. Go see my friend Tony and his team at 495 Ram in Lowell or online at 495ram.com, and be sure to tell them that Beetle sent you, not me. Dan Roach, tell him Beetle sent you. Okay?
It's a great job, Roachy. Great job.
Dan just reading spots.
Well,
I kind of like it.
I'm like Ron Burgundy with these spots.
Do you know why you're reading that?
No.
Are you supposed to read that right there?
I don't know.
No, he's not, but I love that he does.
Oh, okay.
He's like, my friend. He doesn't even think. He's like, I probably do have a friend named Tony.
Right. I know. I do have a friend named Tony, actually, a plumber.
You do. You got a lot of friends.
Yo.
You got a lot of friends. I bet you got a friend named Rocco. Rocco's on the air. What's up, Rocco?
Baldelli.
Rocco.
What's up, guys? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
I want to go back to the coaching discussion, and when you look at who's most responsible, 90% of it is the players, and 89% of that is Drake May, totally 100%. But with that extra 10%, I think that comes to coaching, and the coach sets the conditions for which a team can excel, can deal with the situations that they're confronted with throughout any given season. And I've been coaching youth sports up to high school sports for 25 years now. I was an elementary school teacher for a while, and one of the biggest things that I really tried to establish with my kids, my players, was this idea of identity, because they all want to be part of something. And if they feel like they're part of something that's bigger than themselves, what they're willing to do to cement their part in that identity, in that on that team, in that group, can cause them to perform greater than they would normally. And then especially shows up when.
No, I was going to say.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Rocco. Thank you. That is an excellent point.
Right on.
That's an excellent point.
Yes.
I mean, that is the point of just
what
figuring
have
out.
we seen?
Figuring out if you have the guys who will buy into that. So as a coach, like all coaches know that. Hey, we're going to try to get everybody on board. Now some guys are just not going to be on board, and so you got to figure out, to the best of your ability, making sure you've got the right people in the room. So that's one of the things we've kind of forgotten about, the people who left. And I'm not saying they were bad people or bad players.
It didn't fit.
But I think for Vrabel, and here's the other thing he won't say. I just don't think Vrabel wanted to be associated with the Bill Belichick way of doing business. And the Bill Belichick way of doing business was successful in a lot of ways. Obviously, look at the banners. But there were some things post-Super Bowls, so post-Brady, post-Brady Belichick that Vrabel wanted no parts of. I mean, think about the players who were gone, like David Andrews, gone. Good player, captain. Juwan Bentley, captain, gone. Peppers, gone. Dietrich Wise, like all these guys who were really good players for Bill Belichick and for this team and for Gerard Mayo. I think Vrabel was like, okay, we got to get that out of the building. Not that they were destructive, but I got a new vision. And maybe they're not going to all be on board for it. And then he got rid of some of the guys who just weren't producing, some of the Elliott Wolf draft picks like Jalen Polk and Javon Baker and these guys. Like, no.
Well, and I think a prime example this year was Keon White.
Keon White's another one.
Because he worked with him in training camp, and you could see he had the pad on. Vrabel puts the pad on, the Will Campbell one where Campbell knocked him down. But he puts the pad on, and you can see him. If you watch practice every day, he's working hard with Keon White. And Keon White was vocal last year about saying, we need a new coach here. A
little too vocal
yes.
for a guy who hasn't really accomplished much in the league.
He's got all the talent in the world. And it was so Vrabel's probably like, maybe I can bring it out of him, right? Because a lot of coaches will try to do that. They see that talent, and it just wasn't able to. And I think we saw him miss a game because of an illness or what have you early on in the season, and you're kind of sitting there, okay, what's going on here? And then eventually he's traded away at the trade deadline because of it just didn't work. And then you don't need guys in the locker room that aren't happy and are maybe saying things about the way it's not working. And I don't know if Keon seemed like a nice enough kid, but if it's not working, get him out of here. And the other part, the follow-up part of that, what you just said is a lot of those experienced coaches, like a Parcells, when he came here, he brought in his guys, just a few to scatter in so that they know in the locker room, this is the message from the coach. A guy like Jack Gibbons, who played for Vrabel.
Harold Landry.
A guy like Harold Landry, who played for Vrabel. Those kind of guys know exactly what Mike Vrabel wants in that locker room as far as the message they're receiving and how to go about their business on a daily basis, so they can show a lot of young kids that are also here too, show them what to do and how to do it.
Can't have too many new guys. We got an old guy coming up. Well, he's not that old,
he's
but
young.
he's a familiar guy to the show. Andrew Callahan coming up next on Toucher and Hardy.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
Hey guys, it's Big Jim.
berth with that game, with that win. They knock out the Jets and the Dolphins. They'll have the AFC East as well. Somebody was there. Somebody was there in Baltimore. It wasn't just Roachy.
Nice.
It wasn't just Roachy there in Baltimore.
Attaboy, Michael.
So was Andrew Callahan. Andrew Callahan is sponsored by Roachy.
Ramjack New England, your local foundation repair experts, ramjack.com. I would love to be like the guy from The Price is Right. Just
that's right.
Sit there and say, fabulous prizes.
What are some
Callahan, you've won.
What are some of the gifts we have? Okay, now the Showcase Showdown.
Exactly.
Like, I like that. Remember, we watched that.
Andrew Callahan, come on down. You're the
on.
next contestant of The Price is Right.
Andrew Callahan, what's up, man?
I feel like there should be a T-shirt at least in there. The Ramjack, thank you for the sponsorship. It's been a good 3 months.
Yeah.
But if I am coming down, there's a showcase, there's some kind of gift. I would proudly wear Ramjack across the chest. Well, let's get a T-shirt in there. Is that too much to ask for, Michael Holley?
That's not too much to ask.
Okay.
And you come down, so you call down the price. I don't know how they do it now with Drew Carey. I know with Bob Barker, though. Bob Barker with the long mic, that long Price is Right mic.
The skinny mic, the Gene Rayburn mic.
All right. When he called him down, he was like saying hello. They was like, come on down. He's saying hello. They were always so excited. Oh, my God. And you're just here.
Oh, there you go.
And Andrew, you don't seem excited. You're like,
oh, I'll come in. We can redo this in the studio for the folks on YouTube.
Where's my T-shirt?
Fist pumping?
That's all he's asking. Where's my
We All We Got, We All We Need T-shirt is brought to you by ramjack.com.
We all we got.
We all we need.
We all we need.
Hey, we all we got. We all we need.
So we've come a long way from Joe Judge's "Nobody's Coming to Save Us" or T-shirt he rolled out.
Fine print was "The ship is sinking." We all know it.
Yeah. Nobody's coming to save us. How about the other one? I think Joe Judge, he was going to hold on to that Giants job. He was going to actually hold on to the job until he did the "This Ain't No Clown Show, Bro" press conference. Remember that one?
Yeah.
And he went on and on. Like, you actually did a press conference that you fired yourself in a press conference, unprompted. You were going to have the job.
He just kept talking.
He just kept talking. Stop talking. The job is yours. No, you're losing your grip on the job in the press conference. Somebody should. They needed the Stacey James of the Giants to come in and
Final
say,
question.
Okay, hey, guys. Yep. Locker room's open. Yep. Final question. See you later.
The owner's talking. Go see him.
Yeah, do something else. Do something else, please.
It's Ramjack T-shirts outside. Go grab one.
Yes.
So, Andrew Callahan, you're covering a team that is 12-3, and we've asked this question. So we stopped asking the question after they lost to Baltimore. After they lost to Buffalo at home. Lost that Buffalo game, and we stopped asking about the number 1 seed. They come back. Denver loses. The Patriots beat Baltimore back to the number 1 seed. Do you think they're going to earn the number 1 seed, and do you think they're deserving? Are they the best team in the AFC?
I do think they're the best team in the AFC when healthy. And it's such a boring caveat, but we just watched 9 players leave the field from a roster that was already missing its left tackle and its best pass rusher. And apparently the foundation of their entire run defense, because we've all seen what it's looked like since Milton Williams left. You know, with Denver, there's just been this high wire act all season that you're like, okay, Bo Nix is going to fall off. And it's actually been their defense that's done that. So I don't trust them. Jacksonville is coming up from behind now, though, in a way that, like, they were, image is smaller in the mirror than appears. No, they're bigger than they appear. And they've kind of got my eye. But if the Patriots are healthy, it looks like they should be for the first round of the playoffs. I don't know if they get the 1 seed. That really depends. Does Denver lose to the Chargers in the season finale? That's what that comes down to. I don't know that answer. But I know that if they're healthy and the Broncos are healthy, I like the Patriots better than Denver.
You know what? You didn't mention – I heard you mention Jacksonville. I heard you mention Denver. You didn't mention Buffalo. Why not?
So you and I have talked about this before on TV. I see them basically all in the same tier. And if we're going to parse out the little differences, which is really what playoff football comes down to, you start at the top, quarterback's okay, it's basically even. I just like how well-rounded the Patriots are, where defensively I think they've got more answers, even as badly as they played when they get healthy, than Buffalo does. Buffalo is small, they're slow over the middle, their run defense is as bad as the Patriots have looked, but the Patriots have looked better earlier in the season, and I think can get to those fixes when they're healthy. So they just have more levers to pull, I think, even if Buffalo's lever is the biggest and best in football, give the ball to Josh Allen.
I also like the fact that they have now seen them twice, right, the Buffalo Bills, and they kind of know a little bit more about Buffalo. And we saw Drake go through what he said, the elephant in the room last week about not being able to come back with 2:12 to go and you're going to win it, and they failed. I also like going into that game as not having beaten them twice. I also like if they do face Buffalo, that they get an opportunity to know them. I don't think there's any fear, and I think Drake's got that in his mind. I need to come up and prove that I can get this done in those situations, and I do think they're a better team overall. TEAM.
How'd they get there, though? How do this question just fascinates me to no end. I don't understand how the New England Patriots, the worst team in football last year.
We just talked about it for 2 hours.
No, I know, but I'm saying not that.
Did you not hear anything he said?
Coma?
No.
To
not
quote
that.
Mike Vrabel?
Probably. The first alarm 4:05, second alarm 4:15. Yeah, probably. As I said to Roach here, I got to call him Roach because his friend called in.
I heard.
As I said to Roach, even though I'm up at 4:15, I'm not really capable of saying what my name is until probably like 5:15. Like, it's not real. This is all like some kind of dream state. Even though I'm up, showering all this stuff, it's not real. It's not. Oh, I don't understand how the Patriots are good. How are the Patriots, deservedly the worst team in football last year, on the same level in your mind and in your mind as the Buffalo Bills, who came into the season as and still remain a legitimate Super Bowl contender? How did that freaking happen? That's crazy to me. Like, you would think in any other sport, there's some kind of buildup where you're the worst, you're among the best. It's going to take me a couple of drafts, a couple of free agent signings. It's going to take me a grip to get there. And you guys are telling me we're there right now.
So, Michael Holley, I wrote about this 10 days ago in the Herald, and I have a whole breakdown ahead of when they played the Bills. How the hell did they catch the Bills? Because we all remember if they had won that game, division title's yours. Here's the crown. No more drama. There's not as much stakes as were attached to the other night in Baltimore. And we can go down the list. They're going to sound like familiar reasons, but I want you to pick out the one that's like, how the hell did we get here? Because there's a lot of, I don't want to say luck because there's got a negative connotation, but there's an element of all this stuff doesn't break right all at the same time for teams in the way it has done for the Patriots. Coaching is number one. Quarterback play is 1B. You've got good value free agent signings, which launched the dynasty 20, 25 years ago. You've got impact rookies. Improved game management, which is kind of the low-hanging fruit that they just kept pulling off the tree, throwing on the ground, stepping on it, as opposed to just taking a sweet bite of good clock management.
Yeah.
Culture, which is, again, nebulous term, but you kind of see it, you hear it, you know when it's good. And then the last one I left off was good fortune, which kind of packs in the strength of the schedule. And until I wrote a whole column about this, actually good health, because they were the healthiest team in the league going into Cincinnati with one starter on IR. And no other team in the league could say that. Since then, it's not been so good. But that to me has been the formula.
And they have a chance to be that healthy again, I think, by the end of the year, right? Don't you?
Milton Williams can come back.
Milton Williams coming back. Will Campbell coming back. And then the guys that were hit, I don't know how long-term any of these guys are when it comes to getting back, right?
Milton Williams, I would cautiously expect to play Sunday. I think they're going to miss some players, Kairos Tonga being one. This Sunday against the Jets.
And maybe without two wide receivers.
Yes.
Right?
And there's depth to get by the Jets, but here's the big piece of the bye week, right? Which everyone underestimates. The easy pass, you get to the divisional round. Like, we used to have this rest versus rust debate. Ridiculous. If you don't have to risk losing, don't do it. That's the benefit.
Exactly.
But if you're the Patriots, you feel a lot better, of course, about your chances getting through 2 games in 3 when all these teams are so close. But that bye, that rest for not just Milton Williams to be available, but back to full strength, Will Campbell, Tonga, who I just mentioned. Stephon Diggs only played 59% of the snaps. Imagine that dude with more rest. Can we get him to 70, 75 in the playoff game? Like, that bye week becomes paramount for them the worse they get in terms of health. And right now, it's as bad as it's ever been this season.
You have a chance to have a month off, right? But for some of these players, if you needed it, if they got the bye, right? If they started this week,
you know what I would love?
2 regular season games, the bye week, and then you've got a month before they would play.
I would love you, Roachy, to ask that of Mike Vrabel.
No.
Please.
Nope. Yeah. Do
like
it.
If we had a wager on the show and there were some stakes where you had just lost, That's what I would want from you.
I'd say
you got like 3 weeks off, right? The Dolphins and Jets.
I'd rather eat pancakes.
Bye week. You're going to like
Waffle
Park
House.
City.
Okay, here we go. The game. What's the game you play? You always play two
stats and a lie. We're going to play in a couple seconds.
All right, so 2 stats and a lie. Whoever loses that.
Oh man!
Whoever loses that,
pressure.
You go down and you ask Mike Vrabel. Like Mike, come on. Let's be honest, Mike. I mean, the Jets. That's not even a real game, right? You know, they suck. They got this Brady Cook at quarterback, and the Dolphins. They got Quinn Ewers. You're gonna have a month and a half off, aren't you?
I've already been scarred by. Is that a question or a statement? The first week.
Here's the good news.
when he asked me that in the post press.
You still have time to text your wife, text your kids.
Yes.
I love you before this happens.
I love you.
So there's time to plan this out. It also might be
wasn't always perfect. did the best I could.
By the way, this is where it's buried in the backyard.
Yes.
All the inheritance.
No, there's none of that.
Holly, tell me if I'm wrong, because I felt this more towards the end, and I don't know if this was always the case with Bill. Like, I wonder with Vrabel if sometimes when the question in his mind is so bad or offensive to his like deep football beliefs, Belichick would just stare at you for like a good 3-4 seconds in the way of like, let's just sink,
which felt like 3 minutes,
into what you just said and how dumb it was. And he didn't even like eviscerate you verbally. It was just the silence that was crushing. And I wonder if Vrabel would do the same and then leave. Come on.
Or he would just go, or Bill would give you that stare and go,
right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't care.
Or with Pat Burns and Bob Newmeyer on their pregame hockey show, Burns would say just about every night, "Newmy, I think you're reaching for something that's just not there." Every night.
That's good. That's good,
all right? Sorry. So just to put a bow on it. So all those things that happen, that's a good list. Sorry, I missed that.
I'll send it to you.
Maybe, please send it on. I know you will. Is it fair to say that all those great things that happened to the Patriots, at the same time, Buffalo obviously didn't lose Josh Allen, but lost some good low-value free agents like Mac Hollins? Why they let Mac Hollins walk out the door with some of the receivers they're throwing out there right now? I have no idea, but they did. Mac Hollins last year in the conference championship game was a baller. Against Kansas City, he was great. So they let him walk out the door. They've had some age. They've had some guys who they thought would be better and not actually as good as they thought they would be. So I think these things happen at the same time.
Right, like a Keon Coleman.
It happened. Right. Keon Coleman, healthy scratch again against the Browns. Something's wrong. Like, he doesn't get it, even though, big, strong, fast receiver, but something is not clicking for Keon Coleman, where he's been a healthy scratch, I think, 3 out of the last 5 or, 3 out of the last 6, something like that. So is it fair to say, Andrew, that as the Patriots started to figure out some of these things, Buffalo kind of got, 1% worse in a lot of categories?
100%. And that's part of the good fortune, right? Like, the Patriots didn't have any influence or control over how the Bills free agent signings would go. And I'll give you 2 head-to-head cases. So the Bills signed Joshua Palmer to a 3-year, $29 million contract. Matt Collins was 2 for 7 or something in that ballpark. Joshua Palmer has 290 yards this season. Matt Collins, I believe, is around double that. So there's the value that we're talking about. How about another one? Joey Bosa, much richer contract than Kayvon Chason, savior defensively the other night, who is their best pass rusher, period, so far this season. Chason signed for 1 year, $5 million. Joey Bosa got all right, we'll give you 1 year, but we're going to make it worth your while to come live in Buffalo for 8 months. That player is better. The contract's better. Those differences, like Buffalo would be like, oh, we're paying a quarterback a lot more than you are. Cool. The Patriots still made the smarter signings, and that's how they caught you.
And the other part of that, too, is, Andrew, as you know, is you don't have that drive-in with the fans hooting and giving you grief if you're the Patriots, is that you would get Buffalo here, right? How many times have we seen the last several years, many years, that you go into Buffalo to play them in an AFC playoff game, and you're down 10 already just by the seemingly crowd and the atmosphere and the start of everything. That would be an advantage here, too, for the Patriots.
What surprised you the most this year? I mean, I know the year's not over. You can't ask that question of Vrabel either.
Mine is Mike Reese
what surprised you the most?
30 pieces of sushi on Wednesday and then eating 21 crab legs on Saturday and then not feeling well on Sunday. That surprised me.
And Mike Reese ate 30 pieces of sushi.
Yes, in his estimation,
21?
over 30 pieces of sushi from Karma.
Okay, 21.
Which stopped by the Patriots to feed us last week.
He is 30 pieces of sushi stacked on top of one another.
I know.
So he ate
That's what I
himself
said to him.
in
Yes.
sushi.
And
then he went out with Zoe on Saturday night.
And what's the playing
And
weight?
he
The playing weight
he had like 21
playing
crab
weight
legs.
for Reese is still pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So how do you where?
And he was like, I don't feel well. I'm like,
Yeah,
well, Mike,
I wonder.
wonder why.
So other than that, what's the biggest surprise for you?
First of all, Drake May is my answer, but I just need to get this idea out. If Reese and Zoe go out again on the road, say it's a playoff game, I want a GoPro, a Go Zoe on Reese's head, the camera, so we can all live this night with the two of them together, because that is a movie waiting to happen.
How long would you watch that?
As long as it was. The entire night.
Well, and the best part on our game day show on Sunday.
I can commit to about 8 or 9 minutes.
Right. Zolak.
This is just too much.
So Reese comes on with me. Reese arrives at the stadium at 11 a.m. on Sunday.
Of course he does.
If he's late.
Right? Well, no, we had to do the show at 11:30, and he comes on the show with me. He lays down in a lounge. He found a lounge right near where our live location was. Lays down, gets up, comes on, does his hit, goes back and lays down until Zoe was done, because they Ubered over together to the show. And Zoe says, as the final thought, he says to Steve Burton, he goes, "Please, everybody, pray for Mike Reese. He's curled up in a ball in a manger somewhere outside the stadium. Please help him."
Drake May, though, to your question.
Yep.
I have been a Drake May believer since before he got to New England. Thought he would be star franchise quarterback. I still thought this year 2 would be a regular year 2 leap, not a year 2, 3, 4 packed into one. The dude might win MVP, and it's not because their defense, their schedule defensively has been so soft. The schedule's protected their Patriots defense. It's not protected Drake May under pressure all the time. He's been spectacular, way better than I ever imagined.
So 2 stats and a lie. I think that's coming up next.
Did you do it this week?
8-5. We're gonna do it.
I think it's in 2 segments. So right before I get out of here at 9. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. I got you.
All right. Well, it'll come up later in the show, but we got more with Andrew Callahan coming up.
And you know, yeah. Oh, we taking a break? Sorry.
Yeah, we are. We're taking a break. We're taking a break
Right now?
Yeah.
No, it's radio. We have to take a
Now?
break.
Now.
Yes. Yes.
Do I have a headline?
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, it's Lauren from Joyce Cooling and Heating in Nashua.
have a little, because Mayfield's too smooth. That's too smooth. Like Drake May, it would be somebody who would be kind of urgent, somebody a little choppy, a little fast. And think
James
about that.
Brown?
No, it's too fast. That's too fast.
Yeah,
that's
I know,
too
right?
fast. That's too fast.
It's also going to be someone new or like someone who's precocious.
Oh, maybe. Okay, like a newer R&B kind of guy. All
That's
right.
my only contribution to this guy.
Yeah,
by the way. I'm out of cards.
You lost me at precocious.
All right. For what?
He's precious.
Say
yes.
what now? Say what? All right. You heard Andrew Callahan of the Boston Herald. He's here. Dan Roach is here. I'm Michael Holley, Toucher and Hardy. We are subbing in for those guys. Everybody in the building. Everybody. Salespeople. Everybody is on vacation.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Andrew,
what's precocious
up
mean?
for discussion with
you want a second definition of precocious?
No, yeah. 5:02 to go, all 3 timeouts. How would you describe the Drake May drive that he put together to kind of his signature drive of the season?
So I'd go back to the drive before, right? Like, because you're down 2 scores. You're going to need both of those to be touchdowns. You're down 11. And what I love most about the first drive is that starts with 4 straight completions around a scramble that were under 10 yards. So there's this urgency, right? You're a young quarterback. You get this cannon arm. We have to go. It's on the road. We got to make this happen to force it. Didn't. Got them to midfield. Saw Kyle Williams against Marlon Humphrey, who, by the way, has become like the world's worst corner or God's most hated cornerback. Everyone was beating him for catches after he made the All-Pro team last time. This time it was Kyle Williams, holds safety, down the sideline, boom. Like the balance and decision-making is what I love. That then carried over to the second drive where you talk about the decision-making. They're backed up at their 11. That is the typical, we need some breathing room here. Let's get another more quick hitters.
Who's your go-to guy all of a sudden?
Yes. He didn't do the quick hitter. He saw Matt Collins come in motion right to left. They're in man-to-man coverage. Who's covering Matt Collins? A safety. Well, where else am I going to go? Give me the 6'4 receiver against your safety, 20 yards. Then they continue to play matchup ball, 4th and 2. Stephon Diggs is covered again by a safety. He hits him on the out route. So it was just the understanding and the command of where he needed to go and the timing with which he did it, because he had 2 incompletions, and one of them was that booty play that should have been a bell.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
So
that was crazy.
It's everything, but I think that decision-making, Roachy, was missing.
That's right.
From earlier in the game, like the booty pick, a couple of late throws over the middle, not holding onto the ball. When his decision-making was perfect, so was he.
Yeah. And you can see it in that 4th and 2 plays when you need Diggs to step up. He became that guy, and boom, he's on his way.
Yeah.
Darius Washington almost, you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, credit to him. Like, he's a safety and still made it.
Almost made it, but it was a good throw and a good catch and run from Stephon Diggs. Prime time is my time.
And then Stevenson's
prime time
run
is my time. I love...
Right?
Yeah,
Stevenson's run was crazy good.
Could you ever say that with this straight face?
No.
To anybody in an interview? He said it many times, and he believed it. That's what's so great
it's like
about
George
it.
Costanza says, right? It's not a lie if you believe it.
If you believe it. Speaking
Happy
of
Festivus,
that's
Happy
a nice
Festivus.
tease. Next segment, 2 stats and a lie. Let me ask you, Andrew, is there something you're worried about? Is it run defense? Because Derrick Henry, the only guy who stopped Derrick Henry was John Harbaugh on Sunday night. They are a bad team. They look like they're a bad team against the run. What's going on there?
They are, and I ascribed this earlier to the Milt Williams injury because it's mostly true. But you go back from before the game where he got hurt, which is Thursday night against the Jets. The Bucs started to crack them up front and broke free, and you had your first rush over 50 yards. That streak that we all suddenly cared about was over. And then since then, it's continued to fall apart. So some of it's personnel, where you're just not going to be able to hold up when Christian Barmore's not at his best. Tonga's banged up. You're, as I said last week a couple of times, bringing Corey Durden and Joshua Farmer to a gunfight with the MVP. So the thing that worries me is the line of scrimmage. And even Baltimore on Sunday night, it wasn't that they just came downhill and were pounding you, because the Patriots bulked up. They were like, here's 8 linebackers and defensive linemen. We can't get any bigger. So Baltimore said, we'll go around the side. We're going to drag Christian Gonzalez in to be the force player because we're running crack tosses and outside zone and pin and pulls. And good luck blocking these pulling linemen. So there's multiple ways to be attacked. And then offensively, it's still the line of scrimmage because Drake May, God bless him, is under pressure 40% of the time. And you're not a great run offense and short yardage. So you have to work around some real basic football stuff to win these football games. And they're doing it. But as soon as you don't, you're kind of in trouble.
All right, so who would be, and Roachy, you tell me this too. I'd love to hear your take on this. Who is the worst matchup for that. I mean, let's assume good news, you have Milton Williams back. So you have Milton Williams, and that kind of mitigates some of the problem. But if you get to the playoffs, what's the team? He's like, God, I just don't want to see them because they provide too many issues that the Patriots have struggled with this year.
So there's no one team that I would be like terrified from if I'm anyone in that building.
Oh, that's good news.
It's really, to me, just one of two choices. It's Houston, because up front defensively especially, they're going to kind of kick your ask because they kick everybody's ass. Just ask Josh Allen. Speaking of Josh Allen, Buffalo, I think, is the other choice. And not because you can't hang with them. These have been one-score games, but because he's the best player left in the bracket. I don't want to play the team in March Madness who's got the guy that is going to go get the bucket when he needs one. Josh Allen also, the way I kind of broke this tiebreaker is, okay, let's say they play Houston. Would I rather trust Drake May to go get a game-winning drive against their defense? Or if you're the Patriots, would you rather trust your defense to get a stop against Josh Allen? I picked Drake May, which means that I'm by default more afraid of Buffalo, even if I think Houston might give them more problems, if that makes sense.
And it's funny, too, because the bottom of the bracket is the scary part, right?
Yeah.
It's a strange year. The Texans
I wonder if we'll feel that way
even
in 2
the
weeks.
Chargers running the football. But
I wonder if we'll feel that way in 2 weeks. Because this is what I love about football season is like and we all do it, whether you think you're avoiding it, you're not. We all overreact to the week. Just 1 week so 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Oh, are the Patriots frauds? They lose to Buffalo. Hey, is Josh McDaniels doing a bad job? Hey, is this happening? This happening? And now Denver loses. Can they catch Denver? Oh my! The 1 seed's gone. The 1 seed's gone. Then Denver loses,
and now it's
Jacksonville.
Right?
And you're like, wait a minute. Hey, the 1 seed's still in play. Yeah. And Denver, man, are they frauds? Bo Nix.
Right. But you don't want to play Jacksonville.
So
they've won 6 straight.
But I still think the Texans are getting a lot of love for a team that is still not going to win the division. It would be really hard for them to win their division because they're trailing Jacksonville.
Isn't that C.J. Stroud being concussed and missing 3 games, though?
Is it?
I think it's partially. I mean, Davis Mills was good.
They were 3-0, weren't they?
Then 3-5.
No, I'm saying, but they were 3-0 when CJ was out.
That's fair.
They still won games.
That's true.
So, but maybe Nick Caley has gotten them figured out here after a rough start as offensive coordinator. I just wonder if we'll look at some of these teams now that you're not afraid of. You're not afraid of the Chargers right now. Will you be in a couple of weeks if they win a couple of games? If they win the AFC West, are you afraid of the Chargers even though they're missing really good offensive linemen?
Here's the hardest part about, I think, this season and then soon to be the playoffs. Every game feels like a coin flip or 60-40. And like not having the team that you're chasing if you're the Patriots and you're coming, from behind and you're looking to beat a good team in the AFC. We want to beat them. You beat them. It was Buffalo. You did that in October. Since then, you've been hanging around the same race. So there's no team that I look at and go, oh, that's who they've got to beat. That's the bar to clear. It's just a marathon. Like you're all running and just hoping to survive this stretch in a way that like you've all got a good chance. It's just a matter of like who hydrated best and is healthiest, which is a boring analysis. Like that kind of sucks. Thanks, Callahan, for that obvious answer. Who's the healthiest in the NFL? But like, tell me if I'm wrong. Like Denver, the Jags, the Pats, the Bills, Chargers, like all that close together.
And there's
listen, with that kind of analysis, you're not going to get the T-shirt. Okay?
But there's no Patrick Mahomes sitting there either.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no fear, oh my gosh, they got to go through Kansas City. I mean, the Buffalo factor is a factor because of Josh Allen. But beyond that, who is there that you can say, well, this Patriots team has no experience?
And who would take
no one else does either.
The Bills roster around Josh Allen over their own, if you're the Jags, Chargers, Pats, Broncos, no one. Right. You would say, we're good with our guys.
Absolutely.
Even in the NFC. I've been pointing to the Rams being like, okay, that's the one great team. That's the one I'm going to bank on. Come the playoffs, they're my pick. They go to Seattle, granted, an insane game that like I felt hungover from watching the next morning. Because of how drunk that was.
I felt hungover, but I also had a cigarette after it. It was quite enjoyable.
But
it was great.
They lose to Sam Darnold, and everyone's going, all right, Seattle's really good, but are you afraid of Sam Darnold? Well, no. That's how strange this season is, and has been, and I think will continue to be.
Right. Is there you have a great season, especially offensively, And you talked about Drake May. I love your description of it's not just a year 2 leap. It's year 2, 3, 4 all coming together at once. Like, whoa, when did he become this like Jedi? This is unreal what he's able to do. When that happens, usually they start picking off your staff. The league, the rest of the league just says, hey, come with us. You're gonna be our next head coach. You're gonna get promoted. Is there anybody on the staff this year that you think is going to be somewhere else next year?
Yes.
Who is it?
Thomas Brown.
Thomas Brown.
Yeah, defensively, no one's picking from that tree because it's very green, first of all, not ready to be plucked. And also, you just see the results this year and go, all right, injuries, and, it's just not happening. Josh McDaniels, I don't think is going anywhere. Like, he can wash himself clean over the next 10 years, but he's not getting Vegas off of him this season alone. And also wants to be here, by the way, which he made clear. But Thomas Brown was up for head coaching jobs, kind of got put in a really crappy situation and let reporters know about it last month in Chicago, being like, there's a lot going on there that I didn't have anything to do with. And he's drawn head coaching interest before. So he doesn't even have to leave to be a head coach is probably the biggest part of that, right? He could just go be an offensive coordinator somewhere where he's not going to be this year or next year unless Mike Vrabel says, Josh, you're out, Thomas is in. And I just don't see that happening.
Well, and this is going to sound more crass than I mean it to, but hey, whatever.
That's you.
Does that hurt Drake May?
A little. Yeah, sure.
In which way? Because that's a name. I know we talk a lot about Josh McDaniels. Thanks to Mike Vrabel, we talk a lot about Ashton. Heard a lot about Ashton. Thank you. But not much. Todd Downing. Hear a lot about Todd Downing. Thomas Brown, some. But what would you say his impact has been on May?
So I think I have to look at this as like, okay, what have I said about Thomas Brown and why have I said it? And it's been that they've reshaped part of their system based on his input. And I think May has not evolved just because he's been under McDaniel's tutelage as well as Ashton Grant and just been in the McDaniel system because this isn't the offense anymore. It's part Thomas Brown, it's part Todd Downing, and part when Mike Vrabel goes in and says, we're going to run the damn football and run some more play action. My point is when you take one of those coaches out of there, I just don't think you get better. Like there aren't many tight ends coaches that you would hire now or passing game coordinators better than Thomas Brown. So you remove him, you're telling me things aren't a little bit worse? I can't quantify that for Drake May, but I just think there's no way if Mike Vrabel had a choice and Thomas Brown got an offer elsewhere, he wouldn't be like, please stay, please stay, we'll give you a raise or whatever. Thomas Brown also, by the way, might look at this as like a way station. Carolina 1 year offensive coordinator disaster, not his fault. Chicago, bad situation. Comes to New England, he's with a good head coach, a great quarterback. You get the residual effects of that. Go back onto the market, you smell like roses. This might have been the plan all along, and if it was, it's worked.
But they should be also okay because they have an experienced year together with Vrabel, with McDaniels, with May, that they've all grown together. So a loss like Thomas Brown would be, okay, you'd lose something, but I still think there's enough around them that they wouldn't really fall off a cliff.
You really think it's gonna take like 5 to 10 years to get for Josh McDaniels, or is it just done? I
think it's done.
The Vegas thing was too much, because if you say Thomas Brown has been in a situation and he comes up smelling like roses, can't you take away a little bit of the funk from Josh McDaniels because now he's with Mike Vrabel? Like it was. Not only were you out quickly in Denver and you were out quickly in Vegas, you were out quickly in Denver and Vegas as a key branch on the Bill Belichick tree. But now we're looking at you. Belichick's in North Carolina. We're not even thinking about it anymore. Now you are with Mike Vrabel. You developed yet another quarterback. You're having success. Maybe it's not as bad as we thought.
So this sounds to me like I can change him. Talking relationships. He just got a new job. He moved to a new city.
The job helps.
He's doing yoga. He's different. Let's review the relationship history, okay? Completely burns a first marriage in Denver in record time with 20 games.
Right.
Which, let me back up.
Not his fault.
I think Josh McDaniels
and Spygate was in there too.
Yes, it was. Yeah, Broncos edition, Broncos era. I think Josh McDaniels has been one of the best offensive coordinators in football, period. We can put that to the side and go, okay, Indianapolis, you left another woman at the altar.
Hey, listen, she wasn't the right one. I did her a favor.
Your second marriage, also imploded in record time.
Hey, we were in Vegas. What'd you expect?
Right. It was a false certificate. Right. It was Elvis.
It happened at 2. Hey,
she was a stripper. I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. We got married at 2:37 a.m. What do you think? You thought this thing was going to work? Anyway, we got a game coming up. I can't wait. 2 stats and a lie next with Callahan on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, the Celtics are getting some rare downtime for the Christmas holiday. They won't play again until Friday night at Indiana. It's the first time the Green won't play on Christmas Day in 10 years. Last night sees rallying from 20 down in the third quarter to beat the 6-win Pacers 103-95 at the Garden. Jaylen Brown led the way with 31 points. Drake May and the Patriots will meet the media today down at Foxborough as they prep for the Christmas holiday and the Jets, a team they'll face Sunday at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. New England now 12-3 with 2 games to go, sitting tied atop the AFC with Denver after their 28-24 victory Sunday night over the Ravens in Baltimore. Last night, the 49ers topped the Indianapolis Colts out in Indy on Monday Night Football 48-27. Brock Purdy threw for 295 and 5 touchdowns. And the Bruins will host the Montreal Canadiens tonight at the Garden. The Bees will be looking to snap a 3-game losing skid after they got crushed by the Senators 6-2 at the Garden on Sunday night. The latest headlines brought to you by and powered by Joyce Cooling and Heating in Nashua. Give your home the gift of a new Lennox heating system and save up to $4,400 in rebates and tax credits. Schedule right online at joycecool.com. Happy holidays from Joyce. I'm Dan Roach on Boston's Home for Sports 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update, top of the hour.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
know. No, you don't know.
Everyone agrees that I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Let's do this. It takes two steps from the other night. And one might see if you get it right. It takes two steps from the other night. And one might see if you get it right.
It just occurred to me, that would be an impossible song to do with karaoke. Karaoke night, you just can't. You got to be behind it. You got to be in front of it. You got to be behind the beat. It's time for Two Stats and a Lie, the signature Andrew Callahan game. As a matter of fact, Andrew, confession, I love you, but I didn't have the heart to tell you at 8:05 that I really didn't want to hear you talk football. I just wanted you to come in and do this.
The best of Two Stats and a Lie.
That's it. I made up some football questions. Like, yeah, what if he answers them? Fine. But I really wanted to get to this moment.
I'm not as wounded as I thought I would be.
No?
No.
Okay.
You got a lot of power in your hands, more than most when it comes to my ego, but that was fine.
Okay, that's
good.
fine.
Yeah,
That's
we
fine.
could have done this for 3 segments. That would've been-
I love it.
Just two stats and only
Two
just
stats and a lie. All right, so what do we got? Let's
We're
go.
brought to you by Ramjack New England, your local foundation repair experts at ramjack.com. Andrew Callahan.
Roachy has. You're trying to get a sponsorship deal?
We're the
He
Wingo
wants a
Boys.
T-shirt too.
You're being so good to the sponsors. Like, hey, it's like, well, I didn't pay for this, but this is great. An extra one, another one. He keeps reading them every 5 minutes. He reads it.
How about a hoodie?
You're so good. How about we make you the vice president of our company?
There you go.
If Ramjack was
Are
a
they
verb,
treating you well at WBZ? Let me tell you, we got something for you over here.
if Ramjack was a verb, it's exactly what you're doing with that ad read
Yes.
into the show.
Yes,
Just
you are.
ramjacking it
You're
at any chance that we can
ramjacking.
get.
So let's ramjack this.
Yes.
This program. Let's go. What do we got?
All right, Ryan, do we have any music bet, or we just... Which brings me, though, to my two stats and a lie. Two of these stats are obviously the truth. One is a lie. Some imaging with this would be fun.
That's the winner right there.
Yeah,
That's the one.
that's the OG song.
Love it.
Me half jokingly calling for Nick to do extra work, make a song for me next week. Boom, it was there, and it's been there every week since. This is the point we would read off Fred's record, which trails Hardy's, which trails Wallach's. Though the twist this season has been there's been 3 weeks where instead of 2 stats and 1 lie, and you're supposed to guess the lie, I come with 3 lies. And if you catch me, instead of getting 1 point for the correct call out, you get 3. That mostly explains why Wallach is up. I don't have the heart to tell Hardy and Fred, hey, he's also like kicking your ass on like a normal basis. But there's 1 week left, so stay tuned for the rest of the season. We're going to do this into the playoffs.
We're doing 3 lies today, right?
We're not doing 3 lies today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't think that hard.
I could see 1 bead of sweat coming down and others right behind
It's
it.
right there.
My
Between
palms got
that,
sweaty.
And the onions,
headlines.
the onions
Yes.
in the house.
Yes,
from
my
his
wife cooked last
wife's
night, Andrew. So I
cooking.
left my coat in the car. I took a shower. I put on cologne, everything, because she made she's making like meat pies or something. It was cooking burger and onions, and our whole house smells like onions.
Oh.
So, so I didn't want it to think I had body odor. So
And that is not a
You
lie.
know?
That is not a lie.
Yes.
That is true.
that's the truth.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're good. All right, number 1.
He didn't even hear me.
Feel free to take
on the
notes.
game.
These
All
are
right.
simple, but
Take
Fred,
notes.
nonetheless,
okay.
sometimes needs a little help from past Fred, who wrote these down. Number 1, Mike Vrabel has a higher career winning percentage as a head coach than every head coach in Jets history did coaching the Jets.
Okay. So
I'll say it one more time.
Okay. Yep.
Mike Vrabel has a higher career winning percentage as a head coach than every head coach in Jets history did coaching the Jets. Number 2, Drake May's 70.9% completion percentage is higher than Tom Brady ever had in a single season. Drake May's
all right.
70.9% completion percentage is higher than any completion percentage Tom Brady had in a single season.
Okay.
In all due respect to the other sponsors. Number 3, this is according to DraftKings, or if you'd like, FanDuel.
And also sponsored by Ramjack.com.
Yes, thank you. Ramjacking that once again. Well done.
That's Ramjack. We're going to Ramjack that one.
According to DraftKings, or 98.5 Sportsbook of choice, the Patriots' odds of winning the AFC right now are better than their odds of losing the division. According to DraftKings, the Patriots' odds of winning the AFC, winning the conference, and going to the Super Bowl are better than them losing the division over the next 2 weeks. 2 stats, 1 line.
Wow.
It's good stuff.
All right. Michael, want to talk through this?
Yeah. So I think the Mike Vrabel thing is absolutely true.
Okay. And I think the Drake May thing is absolutely true. I don't know if Brady ever finished above 70%. I always want to say 69 or lower.
See, I think Brady is...
Bronco lower.
I think Brady is... I think that's a lie.
All right.
I think...
So
why do I think that Brady had a slightly higher percentage in 2007? His MVP year.
That would be the year.
But yeah, and the way you phrase the question about the Jets makes me think that's true because obviously Bill Parcells there. Bill Belichick never coached the Jets, although he was named head coach of the Jets a couple of times. Pete Carroll, 6-10, one and done with the Jets. Herm Edwards is the one that makes me think a little bit, but
Weeb Eubank?
Weeb Eubank, no. Get out of here with your Weeb Eubank. So I think...
And three is just too easy, right?
Is it?
I don't know. I'm gonna. Which is the lie that we have to find out?
Yes.
I'm gonna say number 3.
I'm gonna say number 2.
All right.
Ryan, would you like a guess?
I think that I'm going to say number 3 is the lie. I think that Drake May has had a better single season percentage, and the Mike Vrabel stat. I think those are accurate stats.
All right. We ready?
We're ready.
2 stats and a lie, Christmas edition. Ryan, I really wish you had taken...
Where's the drum roll?
I was actually looking for a drum roll. Hold on.
Yeah.
I was trying to buy him some time, so it wasn't as
Andrew Callahan's brought to you by Ramjack.com.
This is a 2-minute penalty for that. We need the penalty box is the studio right over there, and I want to see you through the glass, sitting, tapping a stick.
No, we're gonna Ramjack you over there.
through the glass, maybe.
Yeah.
2 stats and a lie, holiday edition. I'm sorry to say, none of you got it. Number 1 was the lie.
1 is the lie.
1 is the lie.
What?
All right, who was it?
So Mike Vrabel's career winning percentage as a head coach is 5.79. 58% of games he's coached, he's won.
There was a Jets coach who was better than that?
It was the first one you said.
Weeb?
Just coaching the Jets. Bill Parcells won over 60% of his games in 3 years. 29-19. So barely edges out Mike Vrabel. Bill Parcells' career winning percentage, interestingly enough, is just lower than Vrabel's. It's 5.69, 56.9%.
Wow.
So it was every time a coach has coached the Jets, their winning percentage has been lower with that team than Vrabel's has been his entire career. But Parcells in those 3 years,
wow.
Here were the 3 years. 9-7, which is the big bump, right? You're taking over a bad team. You have a winning season. 12-4.
And 8-8.
And then 8-8.
It's good.
Wow.
Yeah. Drake May, 70.9% completion percentage. Brady never got to 70 over a single season. 2007 was closest, 68.9%. You'll also see, like, as a whole, that's up across the league every year. 2007 now, sadly, very sadly, it's a long time ago. And then according to DraftKings, the Patriots' odds of winning the AFC, plus 380 right now. Their odds of losing the division, which can also be read as Buffalo's odds of winning the division, plus 450. So shorter odds of them winning the conference than Buffalo taking the AFC East from them. There you go.
You know what?
That's good.
This loss hurts more than
anything you've been through.
I mean, really, 8th grade losing to St. Peter and Paul and the CYO.
Is that your toughest loss? What's your toughest loss in life?
That's it.
Like in a sporting event.
That's it.
You played.
Yeah, 8th grade.
Really?
8th grade. I wanted that one. I wanted that. I hated those guys.
He's never lost on BST. I can tell you that.
Really?
I hated all this. The Saints. I hated both
8th grade?
Peter and Paul. I hated the Saints. Peter and Paul. Yes.
Andrew, what was yours?
Hardest loss.
As an athlete in high school, any level.
I mean, I lost so much anytime I took the field, court, or threw a shot put. You just kind of got used to it. Yeah, not great. I'd have to get back to you on that. It's definitely like in the basement playing ping pong or Madden when I was a kid.
Yeah, Madden.
But you know what it is?
No,
it's
that's
not like
as an athlete.
It's no, I understand, but like it's your friends tweaking you as it's happening. That like they press the buttons only they can get to.
Right.
It's not about, oh, this was an impressive feat, I would tell you about this. It was just like that sucked more than anything. I can't tell you more.
This may be
Wow.
This may suck more than getting cut. Cut from the basketball team.
Oh, really?
You'll have to ramjack your way back onto the show so we can.
Was
do this
that
again.
high school?
Yeah, it was high school. It was high
It's a
school.
verb now.
Couldn't believe it. Hey, Roachy, couldn't believe it. They said, "Hey, if I don't call your name,
one of
if
those.
I don't call your name, you ain't got to go home.
See, that's crushing.
But you ain't got to go home. But you got to get up out of here."
Did you stay as the manager?
I stayed. No, I couldn't. 'Cause I couldn't believe it. Didn't call my name.
The video coordinator.
I couldn't believe it. Like, wait a minute. He didn't say Holly.
Wow.
What? But this hurts more.
Mine was
hurts more
high
than
school
that.
tournament state playoff game. Division II North semifinal against North Reading. 9 innings back then. You know, instead you wouldn't play the 7. You play 7 normal. 9-inning game, like the 8th or 9th inning. North Reading, we're up 2-1. Puts a runner on first. I'm playing second, and they run the bunt play where the runner on first goes all the way to third.
Yep.
I come over to cover first base, take the throw, then take the throw to third base, and it was a 15 hopper that got by the third baseman. Run scores, tie the game. We lose in 9 innings or whatever, 3-2. And it was my throw that caused the game to be tied in that situation. But the best part of it, the next day in the Lawrence Eagle Tribune, Peter Hines, one of the Hines brothers, Stevie Hines played for the Bruins. Peter Hines was our first baseman, great guy. It said Hines error leads North Reading to defeat North Andover. So it was the best. I blamed Pete my whole life.
That's right.
And the truth will set you free.
I'm like, I want to
guys
career
up with this one.
I
Though.
want a
We're all
career in
feeling
the
bad
media.
for us.
Andrew's got 2 stats. Andrew's got 2 stats. But he's got 1 line. Andrew's got 2 stats. Andrew's got 2 stats. But he's got 1 line. He's got 1 line.
Go on, girl.
Andrew Callahan, always great to see you, brother.
Happy holidays, guys. Happy
See you in a couple
Festivus.
minutes.
Yeah, see you very soon. Too soon.
Happy Festivus, happy holidays.
Yes, right back
to
at
you
you.
and your family.
Yeah,
Good to
you
see
and a
guys.
new dad, too.
Thank you. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that.
Yep. And your daughter's name is Cruella?
Yes.
No, it's not.
Carmela.
Carmela. I thought you did it on purpose.
I
did it on
too.
purpose.
Which was well
Cruella
done.
DeVille.
Wasn't even mad.
Oh, my God. Anyway, hey, Daddy Callahan, good for you, man. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Appreciate you guys.
Final hour of Touch
Now
and
you're
Hardy
supposed to say
coming
we
up
can
next.
read Andrew in the Boston Herald. Come on, do like Fred does. Right?
He says the Globe.
Oh, does he really?
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Men, the holiday season is here, and
This is no lie. We're way late. We're way late. So, short segment here. Want to reset the table. Michael Holley here, along with Dan Roach. His friends call him Roachy. I'm supposed to call him Roachy too. At all times. Can't call him Dan. Can't call him Roach. I must call him Roachy.
Okay, Michael.
Contractually obligated. We're talking a lot about the Patriots. The Patriots have 2 games left. They're 12-3. They're 12-3. If they win their final 2 games against the Jets and the Dolphins, not only will they be 14-3 and likely, I'd say likely, the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think the Broncos are going to lose one of those games.
Yeah, they have the Chargers,
They have
right?
the Chargers. Probably won't lose to Kansas City. It's probably impossible to lose to Kansas City on Christmas, but they can lose that final game to the Chargers. They'll be the number 1 seed. They will be AFC East champs. Milton Williams could play on Sunday. You heard Andrew Callahan say that. Cautiously optimistic that the star defensive lineman can play. Who knows when we'll see Will Campbell again. Robert Spillane hadn't played the last 2 games. Don't know what his status will be. Travion Henderson went out in the last game. He's in concussion protocol.
Right, let's go down the list. You tell me yes or no for Sunday. Morgan Moses.
Yes.
Who had a knee issue, returned. Thayer Munford, who had a knee issue and returned.
Ohio State guy, yes.
Okay. Travion Henderson, another Ohio State game.
No.
The head, I don't think he'll return either. No. Also, Kayshon Boutte. He looked like he was head issue too.
No.
So, yeah, he probably won't play. Stephon Diggs, head, shoulder, blue tent return.
Money's on the line.
Cornerback Charles Woods, special teamer, ankle.
Not familiar with his work. But
Kyrus Tonga, foot.
Big guy, yes.
I don't know if he'll play. I'm concerned for him. And then Pop Douglas, hamstring.
Hamstring tough, no.
Your wide receivers might be Diggs, Hollins, Williams, Chisholm. Maybe Jeremiah Webb off the practice
Maybe
squad.
Chisholm gets some love. But I think this is the time, if you want to kind of be cautious with some injuries and I want you to say this to Mike Vrabel later, you can afford to be cautious when you're playing the Jets.
No.
Why don't you say that to him? Say that to him when you're down in Foxborough
sound, Michael?
Very soon. Look, as I said, we're late. We're going to reset the clock. Come back with your phone calls and come back with Christian Fourier. That's coming up next on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Now, hey, Roachy, how do you feel about the song?
I'm dreaming of White Christmas. Rudolph.
What do you know about Backdoor Santa?
Nothing. I think it's a cut in the NBA, right? That's all I know. Good luck.
That's a play. It's a play. It's some team staple.
Yep.
With their lineup, I am told it's not a staple of some team's offense. It is a staple of our next guest.
3-time Super Bowl winner. No,
Christian.
2-time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't Christian Fourier on the 2004. Oh, that's right. He wasn't here in 2001.
He got cut, right?
Oh, wow.
This freaking guy.
Oh, wow.
Listen to this guy.
Hi,
wow.
Christian.
Listen to Roach. Listen to Roach throwing shade right off the top.
You can't call him.
Like,
you can't.
right? Listen, we just got started, Roachy, and you're being disrespectful already. It's what do we have to do this right now, or should I wait till Sunday?
Wait till Sunday.
You can't call him Roach. Okay. You got to call him Roachy. I was told that.
Roachy.
You got to call him Roachy.
Hey, how happy is Roach right now? How lucky is he? How much fun is he having? Is he having a lot of fun?
He's doing great. He's having a lot of fun. He is trying to get a deal. He's trying to get a sponsorship deal. So he just keeps reading the same sponsorship thing over and over.
Yeah, Christian, he's just reading commercials. He doesn't really know why, but I just put something in front of him
randomly,
and he's happy to do it.
He no attachment, just randomly reading commercial spots because it's so obvious what he's trying to do. Hey, man, it's Christian Fourier. What's up?
Look at this. Look at my old friends. Look at this group. I can't believe it.
It is good to hear from you. I watch you on TV, and I enjoy listening to you. I'm not going to shout out a competitor, but I enjoy hearing you doing a national radio show with Solomon Wilcots. Frequently.
Yeah, no, you can shout it out. I mean, we're no competition to you guys. Right. I mean, come on, we don't take calls. I mean, it's a serious NFL radio. It's a very serious show.
The opening drive.
Yeah, it's very serious. There's no hijinks. There's no messing around. If you know Solomon Wilcox, he's like a very serious analyst.
But
there's no messing around.
But you make him laugh, though.
I do my best.
You get him telling some jokes every now and then. So hey, Fourier, look, people have reminded me today. Everywhere I go, people remind me, hey, didn't you say the Patriots are going to suck? You thought they win like six or seven games. I did. I'm surprised by what they're doing right now. How did you see them, and how far do you think they can go right now?
Well, one, I thought they would be like fighting for a playoff spot towards the end of the year. Like I thought they'd be, 8 wins, fighting for 9, like the last 2 games of the season, hoping to get to 10 wins. That's what and then needing some luck to kind of have it play out. But you're really happy with, the growth of everybody. That's what I originally thought it would be based on just what your usual suspects in the AFC, like the Buffaloes, the Chiefs, and, the Ravens, and, all those teams that you were used to seeing. But those guys fell off, and the Patriots went on a good run. So I'm absolutely surprised that they're this successful, like next level successful. That's your first question. The second answer to your second question is all the way to the end. They absolutely can go all the way to the end. And I'm not trying to, exaggerate this or just, really just, be a massive homer. And I think a lot of it has to do with if they can get home field advantage. If they can get home field advantage and they can get that number 1 seed and they get a first round bye, they can get healthy, they can get some guys back, they can sit there and watch the landscape of the other teams, and then they win 2 freaking games, Holly. 2 games, and they're in the Super Bowl. That, to me, is absolutely possible, especially when you look at all the other teams that are fighting for the number 1 seed. Like, there's a ton of parity. Right now, there's 10 teams possible in the NFC and the AFC that can get a number 1 seed. And then NFC, it's 3 of the 4 teams in the NFC West, including the Bears. You got the Rams, you got the Seahawks, right? And then you got the 49ers. And in the AFC, it's the Jags, it's the Bills, it's the Broncos, it's the Texans, it's the Patriots. So, listen, it is an absolute, reality that they can win the next 2 games. The Broncos lose to the Chargers, and then you have the number 1 seed, and you have a first-round bye. That's remarkable.
Who is this? Mr. Positive, where did this come from?
What are you talking? No. It's reality. Like listen. It is. I've been fighting it because I still need to see more.
Been fighting positivity.
There you go.
Right? Been fighting positivity.
Good for you.
Because I don't want to believe my lying eyes. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to. I just don't it's impossible. Like the Broncos, there's no way they're going to win out. It just doesn't happen that way in the NFL. And the Patriots, I knew eventually they would take a loss. I thought they'd take 2 in a row, but they had an unbelievable comeback against the Ravens. And now you have 2 unbelievably crappy teams. You have the crappy freaking Jets, and then you have the even crappier, Miami Dolphins. So I don't see why it's not possible.
Christian, as a player, I said this earlier in the morning to Michael that I thought Sunday was a signature win for them and the program and for the identity and everything Mike Vrabel and the coaching staff has been preaching. It all came forth with that comeback. And, and Drake May said after the game, the elephant in the room the week before, he kind of overcame that. What does that do for you as a player when you see guys gutting themselves through injury? Morgan Moses begging to get back in, finally gets back in. What do you see what does that do for a team going forward if they come up with a big victory like that?
So I think there's a couple ways you can look at that. I think, since it's Christmas time, let's use a Christmas movie analogy. Some people are like the Polar Express type of person, right? Like seeing is believing. They have to see it to believe it. They don't want to do it.
Ring in that bell.
They got to ring that bell, right? And I think that's what the Patriots, they needed to see it. The elephant in the room was, man, we need to come back win. We need a 300-yard passing performance. We need you to be down. We need you to score 15 freaking points in 10 minutes. Like that's what the Patriots did. So seeing is believing. Accomplishing is believing. And I think that carries more weight into the postseason than anything. Like signature wins, like I can point to the other one that I thought was really like, okay, like that made it move a little bit for me was the Buffalo win in Buffalo. I thought that was like, you're going into, like they've been the bully over the last 4 or 5 years. They've been the one dominating you after you've been spanking them left and right for 20 freaking years. They finally got off the mat and they had their way with you. And then you kind of took it away from them. You took it away from them, and then they took it back, right? And then now, like you're still got the 1-game lead on them. But I think that win in Baltimore against a hungry team in a must-win situation where they had every opportunity, and they should have beat you, but we don't let Baltimore deal with their analysis of their coach and how badly they screwed that up. But that's the key to winning is good coaching decisions, good people hate this, good kicking game, smart quarterback, tough players. That's what it's going to come down to. It's the one thing I think that separates other teams in the postseason is I hope your coach is smarter than the other coach. I hope you have a smart coach.
Yeah.
Like that's honestly just like, can you manage the game? Are you thinking 3 steps ahead, like your first 15 plays and like what's your last, series before the half, and then what's your first series coming out, right? How do you end? Can you close a game? Like if you can close a game, then that takes away a lot of the other teams' just opportunities to even do any damage. And I feel like that's imperative when it comes into the postseason, especially with all these teams. I think all these teams are so similar. So you need some sort of advantage. Home field would help. Smart coaching would help, and I think you absolutely have that.
Well, I'm so glad you mentioned coaching because I was going to ask you about Mike Vrabel. Your former general manager, he didn't have the title, but he was the general manager of the Patriots, Scott Pioli, once said of Vrabel, he is a habitual line stepper. He crosses the line habitually, like that old Chappelle bit with Charlie Murphy and Rick James. I'm sorry, Charlie Murphy. Hey, Charlie Murphy, what did the 5 fingers say to the hand? Slap. I'm sorry, Charlie Murphy. So he said Vrabel is that dude. He just kind of knows. Sometimes he just goes too far. Give me a Mike Vrabel story where he may have crossed the line habitually with you, or you witnessed something when you were playing. Give me like an outrageous Vrabel story.
Listen, there's a ton, okay? And some of them cannot be told or retold on the radio. But as far as a habitual line stepper, I mean, there's the snarky, looks that he gave me, Dan Graham, and Ben Watson when he came into our meeting, on a Friday, knowing that you have 2 first-round draft picks in me, and then this dude is getting the reps on goal line. I just never understood that. You drafted 2 tight ends in the first round, and you're still keeping one of them off the field. Whatever. The other one I thought, and people forget about this one. They changed. You guys will remember this. So Vrabel used to always, on field goal block, right? Like he would call the whole timeout thing. He would call, even though they didn't have a timeout. And then the rest would freak out and they'd run in there and they'd say, timeout, timeout. And then the coaches would be like, wait, what are you doing? They don't have any timeouts. They changed the rule because of that. They changed the rule. And if you called the timeout
I can
and
see
you
it
didn't
too.
have one,
Can't you see it?
You got fined. Okay, so that was, I mean, those are, that's like a bedtime story, right, that you would use. That's a clean one. That's a funny one. Can I just add this? Because here's where I think the most important aspect of what Vrabel's doing based on his personality. And it's, it's like when a guy like Vrabel is constantly pantsing another team or another coach, or he lines up these plays and these situations and he explains them and he says, hey, then we're going to do this. Just watch. We're going to get them. Right. And the whole team's in on the joke. And it's a snarky attitude paired with, a lot of love and affection and like a camaraderie that only exists when everybody in your locker room is in on the joke except the other dopey coach. And then you almost set them up. And then here comes the trap door. The coach falls for it, and then everybody's celebrating. Like Vrabel did this to Bill when he was coaching the Titans. If you guys remember, like when the Patriots played in Tennessee,
played in Tennessee, and also bleeding the clock in the playoff game.
That's my point. Those are the type. And let me tell you, like what makes like the difference maker, which really endears you to a coach, because there's a bunch of different variables that can get you connected and make you want to run through a wall for your coach. I mean, there's the motivation, there's the encouragement, there's the, oh man, this guy really knows what he's talking about, right? But then there's this other aspect that is almost sophomoric and childish in a way, and like, high school pranks that you would do. And it just really, I love that aspect of it, because he's so clever and he's so smart and he's willing to cross the line to that uncomfortable position where he has respect for the other coach and the other team, but he's not going to trick you just because you're buddies, right? That's the part that I love about Vrabel and the entire staff and all the players. You can just tell that they're in on it, and they just wait for that trap door, and they just all just start laughing and giggling because we got him again.
Hey, Roach, I mean, there's so many guys who play with Vrabel who said this is the only guy who, in playing a game, could recite coaching points as he's making a tackle. Or right. Like, hey, listen, look at a formation. Hey, when they're in this formation, 77% of the time, they're running right, this place to the right, and he'll go and make the tackle. They used to say he used to, Fourier, you'll love this, would just have whole conversations. I think it was Vrabel, and the other one was, remember Klecko? Remember Dan Klecko? They'd have whole conversations for like 30 minutes, 35 minutes with just movie lines, back and forth, just pulling movie lines, back and forth, like rapid fire. He's just got that kind of brain.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Getting on the scout team to aggravate Brady.
Exactly.
Kind of things, right?
Just a really smart dude.
See, the best thing for the people of New England is snarky Vrabel. Also, the worst thing for the people of New England is snarky Vrabel.
Yeah, Roachy's going to get him later today. We have kind of dared him to ask some really stupid questions.
Ooh, yes.
At the press conference and see what kind of reaction we're going to get.
Yeah. Say something to the fact that it was, you being an only child make you the way you are. Something to that effect. You go to his childhood,
Oh, wow. Oh, now you're talking about. Now you're talking about my upbringing right. Now. Okay, now you bring my family into it. Let me ask you this: since we had this song, your little intro song.
Yeah.
Do you have a top 5 of Christmas songs? You have a top 5 of songs that you gotta have them at this?
Mine are like
Time of
all
year?
like
My list
like,
is
you know,
nothing
there's
like
there's
yours.
Risque.
Yes.
No, there's another one. There's a Lady Gaga Christmas song that is literally called Christmas Tree. Garvin should play it. It's filled with innuendos and sexual, connotations and stuff like that. It's just a typical Lady Gaga, freak nasty Christmas song, which I think there's a place for that.
Absolutely.
It's like, Roachy, maybe you threw this on for the wifey and you say, you walk out with a little red bow and nothing else on. Is he playing it right now?
He is. He is playing it.
I
Turn
like
it off.
Christmas Tree Farm by Taylor Swift. Those are the kind of songs
This
I
is
like.
not quite like that.
Christmas Tree Farm. No, you got to get freak nasty, Roachy.
I'm good.
Because why not? I mean, like, it's not just all about the damn kids. We do everything for the kids. After the kids, right?
I'm so sick of kids.
Come on.
I'm so sick of kids. Like kids and kids. There's too much stress. Like
how about the
I
adults?
hate Christmas. Christmas sucks. It's just it's not like it's great when they're like you're really little and they believe in Santa, but when they get older, it's like, okay, listen, you're 24. Like, why am I buying you a gift again? Like, go get your own gift.
Right.
Like, what are we doing here?
They think, oh, what do you want? No, I don't want anything. Because you want me to say something because you want me to get you something.
Michael, I think Christian should focus in on the details of Christmas, the technique, the fundamentals, and he should make great decisions when it comes to gift giving, watch ball security and ball disruption, effort and finish.
Careful.
I want to see all those things for you. That's what I want to see, okay? I don't want the bleep that gets you beat, okay, Christian?
The worst thing about Christmas is the wife, like getting the wife the gift, right? There's just a lot of expectations, a lot of pressure, making sure I get the perfect.
Are you telling me you didn't do anything? Are you telling me
I did a lot?
Okay,
listen,
all right,
Holly, I did a lot. I did pretty good. Like, I used to tell my wife before Christmas, I used to be like, listen, man, I did awesome. Like, you're going to be so excited about. I went all out. I listened to every little clue that you were passively aggressively sending. I followed all the signs. I looked at your Instagram. I looked at everything. I nailed it. And then you go ahead and open the gifts and it's like, what is this? I don't like this. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know what else to do. So I don't know. I think I got another winner this year. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know after Christmas.
Wow. Never guess what I got my wife for Christmas.
Yeah, what we won't guess. What'd you get?
Yeah, just tell us.
Trip to Disney.
A trip to Disney.
Worst place on the planet Earth. The worst place on Earth is Disneyland and Disney World.
A trip to Disney. Mm-hmm. Why are you going to Disney?
Well, we have a reason. My daughter's college softball team that she coaches is opening up down there, so we're going.
Okay.
Staying at Disney as our base, but going to like 10 games, 11 games while we're there.
This is what it's like to be married to Dan Roach right here.
Can I give you a tip, Roach?
Yeah.
How to get on the rides quicker and easier?
What?
Say, do you know who I am?
No. What you do is you got to get one of those handicap cards. You get a handicap card. And I did this once. I did this once.
You did this. You're admitting this. You're admitting
I absolutely admit it.
Yeah.
This is
wow. That's a low. That's an all-time low.
No, listen.
No, there's no. We can't get a stop there. Did you get a wheelchair to drive around into?
No. It was back. It was like there was this whole underground. Garvin knows this. There was this whole underground, system where if you knew there was a guy who was handicapped and you would pay him the same amount for like a fast pass. And he was handicapped. He just had a cane. He walked faster than we did. And he would you would just follow him around. And if you were his guest, then he would bring you to the exit line. And then my kids and I would go on the ride. It took us like 2 hours to do the entire park. At first, I was real nervous and uncomfortable with it. But once I realized how efficient and effective he was and how non-handicapped he was,
there's a market for this.
Money I ever spent. It's the best. I'm telling you, I think they shut it down. I don't think they do it anymore.
I think so. I think they shut it down. I wonder why for
By the way,
I have no shame on that. I'm just telling you, no shame.
I noticed.
Christian will appreciate this. Pam has begun rapid fire texting me. She's saying, go Christian, gifting. That's not my gift. Disney's not my gift. And she said a bunch of other things. So she got her thing.
Yeah, so you got the whole Roach family against
thank you. Appreciate it.
Christian Fourier, always a pleasure to hear you. Always a pleasure to catch up.
This has been fun.
All right, take care.
Talk to you Sunday.
All right, guys. Yeah, see you guys. Merry New Year.
Yes, right back at you.
Merry New Year. There it is. Christian Fourier, great movie. You don't even know what that reference is, do you? Garvin, you know that reference?
Merry New Year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so when he goes, Garvin knows. Garvin knows because Garvin has lived all this stuff with Fourier. I was actually waiting for the story as soon as you brought up Disney.
He said, I have no shame. Of course he doesn't
No,
have
he felt a
any
little
shame.
bad at first, and then you realize how efficient it was.
What do we have next? The stack? Is that does my memory serve me?
Yeah, we're gonna do the
Headlines
stack.
brought
We're
to you by
gonna call
Boston
it a show.
Vision too.
Oh,
we got to do that too.
Oh, you're trying to get Boston Vision now. All right, more Touch on Hardy coming up after this.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics getting ready for some rare downtime for the Christmas holiday. They won't play again until Friday in Indiana. It's the first time the Green won't play on Christmas Day in 10 years. Last night, the C's rallied from 20 points down in the third quarter to beat the 6-win Pacers 103-95 at the Garden. Jaylen Brown leading Boston with the game-high 31. Drake May and the Patriots meet the media today down in Foxborough as they prepare for the Christmas holiday and the Jets, a team they'll face Sunday at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. New England 12-3, sitting atop the AFC with Denver with 2 games to go after their 28-24 victory Sunday night over the Ravens in Baltimore. Last night, San Francisco beat Indianapolis 48-27 in Indy. In Monday night play, Brock Purdy threw for 295 yards and 5 touchdowns. And the Bruins will host the Montreal Canadiens tonight at the Garden, looking to snap a 3-game losing skid. This sports update has been brought to you by Boston Vision. It helped baseball legend David Ortiz get back to seeing 20/20 again, and they can do the same for you. See big like Big Papi. Book your free evaluation at bostonvision.com. I'm Dan Roach on Boston's home for Sports 98.5, the Sports Hub. Your next update, the top of the hour.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders and new sauce.
Come on, play.
It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
All right, welcome back to Toucher and Hardy. Michael Holly here along with Dan Roach. This is The Stack, brought to you by New England's largest Volkswagen dealer group at colonialvw.com, located in Medford, Wellesley, and Westboro. Come see our amazing finance and lease offers during VW's Winter Deal Days. Yes, you can have it all at Colonial. Yes, you can. Dan Roach, have it all. Just a few minutes more until we turn it over to Zolak and Bertrand. I have no idea who's in with those guys today.
I'm looking at Matt McCarthy.
I see McCarthy.
Leroy Urban.
I drove an Atlas in Baltimore. Volkswagen Atlas. It's nice.
You did?
Yes, I like one.
So you're gonna try to cozy up to Colonial.
VW of Wellesley?
Yeah.
Colonial. Yeah.
Medford.
All over the place.
Westboro as well.
Yeah, great Christmas gift.
Bam. That's great. That's great. Hey, love the car. Love the way it handles. Great. It's great on gas. Really had a good time.
Yes.
Felt very safe. Some nice features in there.
You could drive down to Disney in it.
Oh yeah. So McCarthy and Leroy. I saw Leroy earlier. As well.
Maybe think of the Red Sox. Wilson Contreras. I like the deal.
No, let me ask you this.
I like the move.
Give me a couple of minutes. We got some time. Give me a couple of minutes on this Contreras.
He's
deal.
a veteran, right? You didn't get what if it was me, Michael, I would have.
You would have had Pete Alonso.
I would have jumped day one of the offseason and signed Bregman, Alonso, traded whatever combination of youngsters, one of the extra outfielders or what have you, for a number 2 pitcher, and be good. Sell tickets, and here we go for 2026, right?
Okay.
But they didn't.
So Bregman,
I'd still sign.
But why are you signing Bregman? Are you signing Bregman for who he is as a player?
Both.
Are you really? Because it kind of like what we saw from Bregman at the beginning of the season, like, oh, here we go. And what we saw from Bregman at the end was good. It was good, but not so good that if this guy is walking away from, was it $80 million on the table?
Right.
If he's walking away from $80 million, that tells me that he's not satisfied with what the contract is now and he thinks he can get better. I don't want to pay him more than that. I don't think he is that kind of player anymore.
I think you get him for length as opposed to the 40. You know what I mean? If you can do an A.
But then that's even worse because what's he, 34?
Yeah, this was his final contract. I'd sign him to a 3-4 year deal. And I'd maybe with a third year, some vesting options and things like that. And I just thought he brought so much to this baseball team that you need it this year because it's going to be harder. You know what I mean? Last year he came out of kind of nowhere and got that going. You won't have the same season from Crochet, although the indicators are he's still going to have a really good season. And I think you put him there as your veteran leader, and you hope that the health is better with the quad or what have you. And then you put him in your lineup, and I think you're good to go. Now you got Contreras. You can play him at some first base. You can DH him a little bit.
Right.
He's a gamer. He's a bit of a kind of like go right at the Yankees. We'll love it.
Contreras?
Yep.
Okay, look. Okay, here's I'm going to tell you, I'm aware of my flaws. I am aware of very aware. That's a good skill to have, to be aware of your flaws. So I really struggle with the way baseball sluggers, and I'm doing it in quotes, are described today. So I saw Jeff Passan when he wrote this story. Red Sox trade for Contreras. I'm not making this up. Passan says he's a tremendously reliable player. Dude had 20 home runs last year.
I know.
He had 20 home runs. He drove in 80. And he's like, he slashed the slash numbers like 252 with 340, 350, slugging like 450. Like, come on.
Just tell me what he does, right? I get it.
No, not tell me what he does. I'm not impressed. I guess I'm so spoiled. The steroid era wasn't all bad.
Right.
Hey, here I am for the steroid era. It wasn't all bad because when I had some slash numbers, when you told me I had a slugger, you didn't come at me with like 475. You didn't come at me with anything under 500. You gave me a slugger. I had some 585s and some 625s.
Right.
I'm not impressed. With 20 home runs, that's a slugger in 2025?
An RBI guy. I think he just fits.
80?
It fits this lineup as a right-handed hitter.
I thought the analytics people don't even like RBIs anymore.
I know.
They don't
I'm
really
just telling
care.
you my opinion.
So you think this is you think he is a middle,
think
a
it's
legitimate
good enough
with
this lineup? Yes,
you said good enough.
Tyler O'Neill hit 31 home runs his 1 year that he was here,
and probably struck out 500 times.
His numbers should go up at Fenway because of the wall and the right-handed pull hitter.
Give me some doubles.
So,
would you have?
doubles?
Would you have? We got a few minutes here. Would you have gone after Alonso, or you understand what the Red Sox were thinking?
I would have, but I guess I understand. They don't want the long-term deals with these guys, but I would have. I thought it was the perfect fit. It's just Costas, you can't rely on him. And I just thought that he was, for now, the back end of the contract may be tougher, but he could slide into the DH role. And that guy's got a swing made for Fenway.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought it was a perfect deal. And to go with Bregman and then to get that number 2 starter, whether it be Joe Ryan or somewhere else you're searching for the trade, Cole Reagans, if you could pry him from Kansas City, what have you. And I thought that was a good setup for them going forward. I still think their lineup is going to be really good. But the youngsters have to play well again. Roman Anthony has to be a franchise type of player for you, which he started to show.
Yeah, he was showing
as
that.
He went.
He was showing us.
And then you got to keep Marcelo Meyer healthy, and you go from there. And you got your outfield is Gold Glove type winning performance, but you got to keep 3 out. Are those guys going to stay happy and healthy when it comes to what they're trying to do?
You know what, Roachy? I'll say this in our final couple minutes here. The best thing about the playoffs. In any sport, but especially in baseball, the best thing about the playoffs is the adrenaline, the juice you get from being a part of meaningful games. I mean,
awesome.
You just hang in on every pitch, and you're thinking through the game, and you're thinking, what do they have in the bullpen? How's that person match up with what? That whole game. That's the best part of the playoffs. The worst part of the playoffs is when you're eliminated and your flaws and your deficiencies are just exposed bare in front of you, and there's no denying what got you out of the playoffs. So I can't get past games 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm. Game 2 was the game that they
not just that, it's the lineup. So you think the lineup is going to be really good, and I'm just still haunted by some of the stuff. It just wasn't good enough, man. If you're going to come back with something like that, even Roman Anthony, as great as he is not good enough to overcome some of the major holes that they had in their lineup. Like they really couldn't compete with the Yankees, who were not a championship team.
But they didn't have Anthony. And then you bring in Contreras. I would bring back Bregman, and you hope the rest of your outfield develops and continues to hit. And I think that they'll be fine.
Dan Roach, I'm going to tell you, you smell great to me, brother. I didn't smell onions one time today.
My wife's onions.
Tell your wife, keep on cooking. I'm sure it's going to taste great. Truly, it was an honor to do the show with you today. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you.
Thanks to Ryan.
And your families. Ryan, thank you for being here. You're here today.
I was here.
You're here today, and a lot of people aren't, but we've got McCarthy, we got Leroy Irvin coming up next on Zolak and Bertrand. See you guys.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Before you head to Wachusett Mountain, head to Wachusett.com.